Mm-hmm. What up? What up? What up? What up? Oh, damn it. I hate when I drink my water too fast. I always do that. And I'm stuck without water. Oh, hold on. Hold on. We missing something. There we go. What's goody? How's everybody's Monday going? I'm not gonna even lie. After the 8-hour live yesterday, I contemplated not going live today. I'm a bit tired, a bit exhausted. You know, gotta clock in, homie. You gotta tap in. If it ain't the guy I love to hate, who is this person that I don't know? Let's see who this person is. The hypothetical one. These names are ironic.
What's up, man?
What up, man? Who is this?
Oh, man, I talked to you a couple of days ago, about a week ago.
Oh, yeah, I remember. I remember, man. We're good with it, man.
It came up that you was online. I said, let me see what this fool talking about. I saw you and Omega going in it, man. Y'all be having me rolling.
Hey, man. I retired from all rap beef on this app. Y'all, they got it. Anybody yapping about me now, it's gonna be a one-sided argument. I ain't got the energy no more.
Hey, but you got the audience, man. We need to hit on you to get our clientele up.
See, at least you telling the truth, because that's really what that's what they need to just say. They need to just, if they came to me on the back end. But here's the thing, you know, the fucked up part is, I be coming to them on the back end and be like, let's do it right. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like kind of like when I was growing up, when we would fight, like with the homies, we would box. You know what I'm saying? Like we put on gloves and box. You know what I mean?
Right,
As opposed to it being like just in the moment, you just mad and you just start getting down with your homie. You know, we'll set it up like it was a real fight. You run a fade and whatever happened. You know what I mean? And so that's how I be trying to do it. You know what I mean? I'm like, yeah, like I invite them. I'll be like, hey, we could join lives. Like, I just don't want to go on their live and they don't want to come on my live. But I've been on their lives a bunch of times. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah,
so
you was in there with the other guy too. I forget his name.
Yeah, I've been on
not a safe space.
I've been on all of yeah. I've been on all of their lives. I go to all. I've been on literally every one of their panels. I've been on all of their panels before. Right? They've never come to my panel. Like, not all of them. Some of them have, but you know. And if they do, they drop off for 5 minutes. They get all, you know, the people in the comments start cooking them and they drop off. So I was like, hey, let's set it up and let's do like a joint, you know what I mean? Like, because I know y'all be scary and shit. So we could do like a joint live. And that way you ain't even got to see my comments. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't even, you know, like you, because if we do the joint live, I can't see your comments and you can't see my comments. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't see the people that's commenting on this side. So it's better for y'all. Y'all could live in your world of delusion and think you cooking and shit because your people over there, you know, whatever. So I said, let's do it. Some of them, oh yeah, no, let's do it. Let's do it. Whatever. Let's do it on it. I'll be like, okay, cool. Set it up. Never, no reply. Then I'll catch them on their live, either talking about me or in somebody else's live talking about me. And I was like, you know what? Y'all got it. Like, y'all don't want it. Like, y'all just want to do it to talk shit. So there you go. You know, you don't really want to have like an exchange of ideas. So here we are.
Yeah.
I'm out.
I want to ask you a quick question. This ain't got nothing to do with this before you get started. Mm-hmm. Hey man, I don't understand TikTok like talking about it. Mm-hmm. So I be saying that people will follow me, but my numbers never change. Like, I've been at like 596 for like a year, but every day I get a following. Somebody follow me, but my numbers never go up. Like if I get to 600, it'll drop back down to like
people are
unfollowing
you.
Okay, well that's cool too. And another thing I want to ask you, you always when people talk and they say women, or no, when they say female, you say
women.
Women. What's the story behind that?
Because a female could be anything.
Okay.
A female could be an animal. A female is one step removed from a bitch.
Okay.
Right.
I got you.
And that's why a lot of men are like they love saying female. It's like a covert way of saying bitch.
Okay, I didn't, because I know I say it sometimes, but I definitely didn't mean it like that.
Yeah.
But I noticed you'll say, you make sure you correct that. Sometimes to get a chance, I'm going to ask you about that. But yeah.
It'd be just like if a white person called you boy.
Okay.
Right.
I never knew it was like derogatory like that, but like I say, let me tell you, I take some of the stuff that you said that can help me, but I still like my, I ain't gonna say what I was saying. I listen. I've grown a little bit to see it from your end, but you know, it makes you definitely. If you listen to you, it does make you look at the world differently. If you have an open mind, but you know, I just think a lot of people just get too sensitive and caught up because what applies to me applies to me. What doesn't. So
that's the best approach. You got a good approach. So we'll see how it goes. Moving forward, but hey, I appreciate you coming up, brother.
All right, homie.
Good luck.
All
right, man. Yes. Hey, hold on. Let me get that. Let me read that Cash App real quick. Blessings for you said they agree. Due to men's bad choices, which is true. So let's get into it. Welcome everybody. Yeah, man. This should be interesting. I basically wanted to touch on this topic because I saw a what am I leaning at? I don't know. I didn't read that. What does it say? What am I leaning? What are you leaning at, public? Peace to you. What up, Gerbil? I don't know. But so this says men are lonely by choice. There is no such thing as a lonely man epidemic. It's pretty obvious to me that the reason why men are in the predicament that men are in when it comes to anything pertaining to you know, like lack of access to women or anything like that. The reason men are, sorry, I'm getting my mic straight. The reason men are in that predicament is because we choose to be there. Now, what I'm saying when I say that is men could, so there is a divide between men and women. Right, the divide, the chasm that exists between men and women is caused by misogyny. It's caused by the patriarchy. Right. It is up to men to unpack their misogyny, to shrink the chasm, right, to bridge the gap, whatever you want to say, so that we can grow closer to women. Just putting it plainly. So if men are lonely, it is because we are choosing not to unpack our misogyny, thus keeping the chasm between men and women, keeping the divide between men and women. Right? So if men were to do so, then we could, there wouldn't be many lonely men. I don't, maybe, right? But people in general, there's lonely women too, obviously, but there wouldn't be many lonely men out here. But men would rather choose loneliness over becoming a better person. And that's why I say loneliness is 100% a choice for men. Aaron G, I invited you up. You can come up, sir. I'm going to mute you for the rest of the live, though. If you would like to come up and get unmuted, I would let it happen. For a certain age, maybe, but there is millions of young men raised on their phones. What does that mean, Casey? What is the relevancy of that? What does that have to do with men choosing to be lonely? I don't understand. What's going on? Yes. Hold on. All right, there you go.
I agree with a couple parts of what you said. It's definitely. I think the thing to the last sentence was it's their fault to basically pull themselves out of this situation.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really know like what the age break would be, but there's definitely millions of young men that were raised on their phones, and they just don't have enough time, dealing with women one-on-one and in pretty much any situation, whether it be school or work or whatever. A lot of them are just like really shy and don't really know what direction to go to figure it all out. But yeah, for some age men, yeah, it's like definitely undoing some of the patriarchy and stuff for us older guys. But for the younger guys, it's going to be tough for them to get a girl with zero time in front of the girls talking to them. I mean, they're just going to be too anxious, and not all of them, but there's going to be tens of millions of them that are like that.
But that would also apply to the women too.
To a certain extent, it is happening to the women. I've done a little research on this issue.
We can't hear you, Casey.
Saying it does happen to women too, but not to the extent of men, because women are by nature more social. They have the ability to.
That's not true.
Well, I mean, what do you mean?
There's no reason to. Don't use nature, because it's not. Women aren't more social than men by nature. Men are socialized to not be social. I will agree with that, but women aren't naturally more social than men. That doesn't make any sense. To me, it doesn't. I don't understand the logic behind that. Why would nature set it up in such a way for women to be social, but men be antisocial? But we need each other.
Men are antisocial. I'm just saying men are inexperienced, and whenever you dig into the details, a lot of men's inexperience is because they don't really pursue women at young ages anymore, or even in junior high and high school. When I say none, I'm talking just like a percentage of men.
Yeah.
Of course, there's guys.
We could barely hear you. You're going out again, Casey.
Of course, there's guys like yourself, that probably grew up able to talk to women,
mm-hmm.
but you're a bit older like me, and you weren't possibly not raised on your phone
mm-hmm.
24 hours a day. But I mean, some of my son's friends are just out of high school. I mean, a lot of them haven't had girlfriends, haven't had one girlfriend. A lot of them just can't figure it out, honestly.
So the thing that, like I said, it wouldn't be anything exclusive to men. People are, kids are more on their phones. My son is no different. He's not on his phone, but he's on an iPad. Same thing, right? Device. My son is 8 years old. He's about to turn 9. My son can talk to anybody. My son can talk to girls. I see him at school. He interacts with girls. They like him. He likes them. You know what I'm saying? He ain't like trying to be boyfriend, girlfriend or whatever, but he's confident. You know what I mean? Like he knows how to talk. He knows how to talk to girls. But wait, Casey. The reason why isn't because the reason why he's good at it isn't. I'm saying that he spends just as much time on his devices as any other boy, but a big reason why is because at home we talk to him all the time, right, as much as we can, and B, I'm teaching my son to not be misogynistic, like even at a young age, right? Like he's had he's had stuff, he's had signs of it already at 8 years old. And that's not even like something that I've taught him directly or his mom taught him or whatever. It was just, he observed it, somewhere else in a movie, on a show, and around his friends or whatever. And I had, we had to correct that. Like, no, you don't do that. That's not okay. Or he'll say stuff and we're like, no, that's not okay. Like girls can do whatever, boys can do it, whatever, right? We have those little talks just along the way. So when he talks to girls just like him. Like people like him. Now, I don't mean it like they like him, like they want to be his girlfriend. but they just like him.
I mean, that's the way my son was, and you're doing the right thing by your son by teaching him those things early. I'm just saying there's a lot of families out there, broken families and two-parent families that have young boys that they just are not like your son. They're not like you. They're raised on their phone too much. And I mean, honestly, you know, growing up.
Then why not use the phone to find the girl though? Like, cause you can meet girls on the phone.
Guys can, but if you don't have the ability, you don't have the ability to really pull it off. Nowadays, I would think if we're honest, standards of women are going up a little bit, which is fine. I don't disagree with that. They should have high standards and pick the best man and do all that, you know. But there's just a lot of young men out there that are having problems. I mean, I've done quite a bit of research on it, trying to just interested in why is it happening.
The Casey, but the thing that doesn't make sense is whatever you would say about the boys, you would also have to imply about the girls. Not like the girls are living a different life than the boys. The girls are on their phones too. So are the.
And if you listen to a lot of social media, I mean, there are a lot of women that are struggling to get dates too. I know that in general, if she wants a date, you know, she can get a date. It's obvious, like,
yeah.
And it's not like that for men. But there are a bunch of girls too that are struggling with just relationships. I mean, I don't remember the stat, but it was something like 40% of a young age demographic, they said on the news the other day, was having a problem with even having one friend. That there's a big group of young kids that don't even have one friend that they could say, yeah, this is my best friend who I enjoy hanging out with. And there was another stat, like, I don't know, I can't remember the other stat, but it was similar to like not having even one friend. There was something else related. And yeah, it was like an unbelievable statistic that there's that many young people in society that can't find one person that they call their best friend. And it's just, I don't know. I mean, that part of it just is the reason I want to talk to you.
Yeah.
But I'm totally on with everything else you're saying.
Yeah, I don't. So I think that, like I'm saying, so ultimately, I don't think that there is something unique about what's going on between boys and girls with what you're describing. I don't think it's unique to boys, right? I think like I said, I think that the thing that separates boys and girls is girls and boys are refusing to grow, and girls, even younger girls, are growing. It's not like girls are just like becoming like these different types of women when they're 27 years old. Like, it starts when they're teenagers. They're already like moving in that direction. They're online too. They're hearing podcast bros too. They're turned off by that stuff already at 12, 13, 14 years old. So if they talk to a 12, 13, 14-year-old boy and he's saying the same stupid shit that they hear on these podcasts that they don't like, they're going to reject him. Right. Like, so I think that,
I mean, and I don't know the percentage, like, I kind of see what you're saying now. Yeah, every young man that does take the route that you just described is going to sabotage themselves. And it's going to be basically over for them. Yeah, unless, because they got to figure it out on their own, and it's just not going to work out for them if they take that red pill rage or whatever, that ideology, and try to stand on it as a young man. I mean, it's just not going to work out for them.
Mm-hmm. And that's the ultimate problem. It has nothing, to me. I'm not going to blame technology for this shit. I'm not about to blame it because it's not a new phenomenon. Like, it's not something that just started happening in 2024, right?
That's true, but I think that it definitely, I mean, 100 years ago, probably 50 years ago, similar issues were coming up between the genders, but I think for some reason it seems to be not enhanced, but just, I guess, sped up, like the process maybe sped up or a little bit worse, basically. You know, I think it's a little bit worse than it was, say, 50 years ago because of technology. Technology makes everybody see things in all the different perspective than what you and I saw things growing up.
Yeah, I think the thing that the social media has done and technology has done is just like what it's supposed to do, which was connect everybody, and it shares these ideas that it would take people longer to see. Like, it would take like girls may have thought a certain way about boys when they were younger, but they didn't know for sure. Maybe they thought it was their small town, or it was just the boys that they knew, or whatever, whatever the case may be. But now when they get online, they go, oh no, it's pretty much all these dudes. Like they're all terrible. They're all this way. They're all that way. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So that's what,
I mean, it definitely seems that way, and it's going to be hard for them to find someone because there's not a lot of good guys out there.
yeah, exactly. That's what I think that's where we have arrived. I think that's a good place to, I think we could, we can end it on that note right there, because I agree. I think that is just not enough good boys or good men, right? For the women. I'm not saying that the thing about boys is they're still malleable. They're still teachable. So you still got time with them. But the problem is most parents, especially the men in their lives, they're not clocking that shit while it's happening. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not going, you know what I mean? Like it's not happening while it's happening.
Do you think that would break off that responsibility from the parents to say just the son or whatever?
When,
You know what I mean?
yeah, like at what age do you become responsible for yourself?
No, like what age you said, like it's a responsibility for like parents like yourself, to talk to your kids and help them along on these tough subjects, where they're going to succeed at them. At some point, you being a boy yourself, once we get to like 18, 19, then we're just going wild, doing whatever we want. I mean, once we get out of high school, it's not like we're wanting to hear our parents' input. Not that we don't take it, if we're good, if we're, wanting to do what's right by our parents, of course we'll listen to them. But I just think at some point, boys, when do you lose their ear, basically? Like, when can you talk to them about stuff?
I don't think I'll be honest with you. Casey, I don't think my son will ever stop listening to me. Personally.
Well, more about girls or romantic things or whatever.
I'm saying about in general, I don't think my son will ever stop listening to me or my wife.
Yeah.
I don't see that ever happening because like of our relationship and how we treat him. Like he has no reason to not listen to us. You know what I mean? Like we'll never give him a reason to not listen. He'll always like be like, yeah, I should, if I need help, I could always go to them. But I also we don't like, I'm not the type of person to go out of my way to offer my advice to my son. You know what I mean? Like I let my son be who he is, and and then when he needs correction, I'm coming back. Like,
well, hey man, I appreciate talking to you.
All right, Casey.
A lot of what you say, some of it I don't, but I appreciate you.
Yep. All right, brother. All right. What up, JC? JC, what's good with you?
Yo, what's good, man?
Chilling.
I guess one of the questions I wanted to ask you is, I know you're talking, big about how social media is the main culprit about what's happening between young men and young boys.
I don't think it's social media.
I guess, what do you think is the main cause of that? Young men, especially growing up, what do you think is driving young men to, perceive, to, not want to find, I know the previous guys talking about, how guys even today struggle to find that best friend or just, somebody that they find a connection with. That's a question I have for you. What do you think might be the cause of that? Or, what do you also think, today, or the message for, grown men to also, try to, help the young man not feel like that? I don't know if I'm making sense. So I'm kind of
why do I think men are actively choosing to be lonely?
Mm-hmm.
Because they refuse to grow. They're refusing to be better people. So they're not choosing to be lonely, by the way. Like in that regard, they're not saying I choose loneliness necessarily. Really what they're choosing is, though, to not be a better person, and they end up being lonely because of that. But not to say that they're okay, but they're like, I would rather, out of spite, I would choose this route than the route of me admitting that that I need to do work and I need to be a better person, right? Like I'm not going to do that. That's out of the question. So at this point, wait, hold up, JC. So at this point, I'm just going to be this shell of a human being. and you know, and whatever comes with it, right? So they're choosing to be lonely.
All right, so you're saying that I guess them not wanting to be, I guess, vulnerable, like, you know, keep to themselves is, I guess, them, like, you know, like not being a good person.
Say that again.
So you're saying that, like, you know, I guess that, like, them not wanting, like, you know, them wanting to stay to themselves, that's them being, I guess, not.
But they don't. I think you're missing what I'm saying. They really don't want to stay to themselves. They would love to have a woman. They would love it. But their hate for women is stronger than their love for themselves, right? Their hate for women is stronger than their desire to be a better person is. So they end up being stuck.
I definitely agree with that. Thank you, man.
Yeah. No worries. Man. All right. We invited them up. Let me see what we got going on in this thing. Welcome in, everybody, to all the people that came in. We got a good amount of new people in here. So, yeah. To answer the question, it would be the men's. Let's see. What up, Kasim?
What's up, How you doing, brother?
Chilling, brother. What's going on with it?
Ain't nothing. I'm looking at the prompts that you have. I'm kind of looking at it like there is no such thing as a lonely man epidemic.
Mm-hmm.
Compared to the top one, men are lonely by choice.
Mm-hmm.
Which makes me want to answer the second one first.
Okay.
I do think it's a lonely man epidemic. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't think that's a lie.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's going on.
I think that I think the reason why I don't like that phrase or I don't like that terminology is because the implication is that, like, oh, we have to do like, yeah, like, oh man, we got to do something in society that, you know, like it's like they can't do anything about it. It's an epidemic of lonely men. It's an epidemic of, you know, this and, you know, whatever. But it's not that, though. It's like a bunch of men making these bad choices, and here we are. You know what I mean? Like, so could I call that an epidemic? Like, I don't know if I'm want to, you know, I guess you can to a certain extent, but I don't. I just think that when I think of an epidemic, it's like, hey man, we got to really get in here and, you know, and solve this problem. But it's not really that, though. It's like the answer and the problem are right there. It's just going to take the men to step up and, you know, and do it right and take the next step.
Yeah. That's why I didn't really have much to really say on it. I was just like comparing the two,
mm-hmm.
and I agree exactly with what you're saying. It's not like a lonely thing. It's like more of an absence.
There you go. An absence of what? Like women, you're saying?
No, men. They're like lonely men. Like it's an absence in their life.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The absence would be them having like a woman in their life, right? Yeah,
of course.
Yeah,
but there's more to it in terms of like family.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
and a lot of the
I agree with the whole John, bro.
Bet, and a lot of the men not having friends it's all connected to the same thing. You know what I'm saying? So if men unpack their misogyny, and they not only would they gain access to women, they would also gain access to new friendships too with men. So it'll knock out two birds with one stone. Yep. What up, Tara?
Hey, public, how y'all doing?
Good.
Yeah, so I would agree that the lonely man epidemic or whatever it's called is 100% preventable.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times, the too many men are looking at their interaction with people transactional, and then like with a lot of times we ask someone about the loneliness, it's like, okay, well, I got a woman. Part of the problem is that men are not connected with each other. Like, there's too much parallel play with men. It's too much y'all like men hang out, and it's like you trying to like I got this, you got that, or whatever. You talk about stuff, but you can't open up to each other. There are men in marriages who are lonely. Literally, just don't have connection. And what you said earlier about there are lonely women too. Unfortunately, a lot of women are lonely because they're with men, because the men in their lives are isolating them from their support system with other women, and they want them to themselves. So yeah, it's most definitely an issue that men need to fix. They need to acknowledge. But I think what happens is men are so complacent and being miserable. Like, I don't think, like, it's interesting. I wonder if many men realize how depressed they actually sound when they talk. I just feel like it's definitely preventable. I agree it's being a better person. You can't just take from people. You need to give too, and you need to make sure you make time for the people in your life you say that are supposed to matter to you. Like checking on your friends, like that's crazy.
A lot of men not doing that. I don't know how to say your name. How do you say your name? Aofi?
Yes.
Aofi. How you doing, Aofi?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing great.
I was going to say, you hit the nail on the head. Men have created a situation of their own making. They are not doing the work to forge community. Even when they're in relationships, they're not the ones remembering their mother's birthday, checking on their sisters, keeping up with their kids. So when they're feeling lonely, it's because they're not forging the community that's going to support them when they need support. They're relying on the women in their lives to fix that problem. And then when those women check out and forge community amongst themselves, they're the ones left being lonely.
Yep. It only ends up hurting them. Hey, Homelander, I'm going to mute you for the rest of the live. You can come up and get unmuted if you would like. I would definitely love to hear your thoughts on some of this stuff. But yeah, 100%. Jack and Coke, what's good with it?
Hey, what's up? Okay, on this topic, men are lonely by choice. I completely agree, and I say this because there's no such thing as a lonely man epidemic. I agree with that too. And that's obvious too, because even if I don't know what city you guys are in or what state you guys are in, but we have and I'm in Arizona, Phoenix, and we have a whole epidemic going on in Phoenix, right? And one thing you do notice when you start to see these fiends on the street, they're in couples. Most of them are in couples. Like, this is very rare that you just see, one single person just kind of handling it alone. Most of them are couples. That said, I don't know if we're talking about black men specifically.
Nope.
But the black men are really all in couples. There are very, 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 very few single black men just enjoying their life. I don't know if that's by choice or by force, but that's not. Most black men are in some type of relationship with somebody somewhere. Men in general, I think, are mostly in relationships. Now, I do delivery, so I have a different perspective because I do get to see people at home. I do say there are a lot of women starting to enjoy making six figures, buying houses, having lots of things in their own name. So that women, I say this too, women are now getting, like black people too, we're all now being able to enjoy more freedoms. Women are being able to enjoy freedoms. Black people are more able to enjoy freedoms. And as we develop these freedoms, we will discover other things than the Judeo-Christian perspective of life, because there's so much more. So no, men are not single, and if they are, it's definitely by choice. 9 times out of 10, unless one caveat to that: the only man who might be single that is not by choice is a man that does not have a sizable manhood, or he has more choices for himself.
I would disagree. Wait, I would disagree. I think there's tons of single men.
Do you? By choice or by force?
I think it's all by choice for the not all. I think the vast majority of the like there are some men who just prefer solitude, right? There's some men who just, I don't want a relationship. Definitely. But when we talk about the quote unquote lonely man epidemic, those men are not those men aren't choosing to be lonely. You know what I'm saying? Though I mean, and when I say that, I'm sorry. When I say that they're not on some like, hey, this is, I just feel like being by myself is healthier and so on and so forth. It's not that. It's like they're like the women that they talk to are like, yeah, I don't like you because of X, Y, and Z. You know, so I need you to grow and be a better person, you know, da 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 da. And then they're like, nope, I'm not going to be that. So that's the choice. You see what I'm saying? Like, so like, it's not like they're actually making a conscious decision to just be like, I just want to be by myself. Because also they want to find the woman that is willing to accept them where they're at right there. You see what I'm saying? Like, so it's not like they don't want a woman. They still want a woman. They just want a woman who isn't going to challenge them at all. They want a doormat of a woman, whatever the case may be. Hold on. Hey, BJ, you can come up. You can come up. I'm just going to mute you for the live. You can come up and get unmuted if you want to. But that's typically what it is. Go on, Tara.
Yeah, I just want to clarify something. I don't know if you confused or if you worded wrong. But the thing is, you can be single and not lonely. It's not,
yeah.
When you talk about men being lonely, it's not just being in a relationship, and that's where the problem comes from.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally having connections with other people.
Mm-hmm.
Like this idea that it's just being single. There's single people. I've been single for a long time. I don't feel lonely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that's the confusion I'm getting from what you're saying.
She's talking to you, Jack and Coke, not me.
Oh no! Well, no. Well, most I don't know what part of that was meant for what I had said, but when it comes to singleness, most men, again, I really don't see a lot of single men. Like really, I do not. Like I go to the gym. I have been incarcerated before. Like generally speaking, and I work in corporate America. I now do.
Hold on, wait. Hold on, Jack and Coke. If you in jail, you single unless you got a boyfriend in jail. Let's just keep it a bean.
No. My point.
I'm just playing.
Most fellas incarcerated is writing letters to women.
Oh, I'm not saying that the woman on the outside ain't like giving them hope, but I'm just saying if you in jail, trust me. Never mind. If you in jail, you single.
No. I'm thinking no Diddy. How's that?
Okay, yeah, no Diddy. All right, cool.
and even the incarcerated fellas, a lot of them have somebody that they're writing to, whether they plan to be with them in the future or not. They all still have somehow managed to get somebody to give, an expression of whatever they need or whatever they have to give to. Again, most men.
Hold up.
Jay,
Yes.
Listen to what I'm saying. You're talking about romantic relationships.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is you can be a single person with friendships and not be lonely. It's not sensitive.
I agree with that. I agree with that 100%.
Yeah. Most men don't even want the friendships though. Right? Like men don't know how to build strong friendships because the way that we are.
It always turns actual.
No, I'm talking about with other men. We don't know how to build friendships with men. Like our friendships with men be as shallow as a puddle, right? Like the only time you text your homie is when you ask, when you like, hey, I need your $100 for fantasy football, or like, I can't believe you just posted that LeBron James is the GOAT. Like it's some stupid shit like that. It's not like men ain't really up here having these in-depth conversations with one another. We're not being vulnerable, and we're not being like men can't be vulnerable with women. So you think men gonna be vulnerable with other men? Hell no.
I think it's race specific.
No.
What state are you in? What state are you in?
I'm in California.
Okay, so well, then you definitely know. Okay, let's follow my thought here. Now, if you live in California, so you have three groups I'm going to use as my examples. We have the black group, we have the white group, and we'll use the Mexican group, right? Okay. Now, when you see Mexican men, not the ones in Mexico, because we know it's cartel and they're not.
Hey, no. Most Mexican men are not a part. Hold on. Most Mexican men are not a part of the cartel, but keep going. I'm listening.
My point is Mexican men have a deep affection for one another. Are you kidding me? Mexican men vent it all with one another. There is no No. Are you Mexican men? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, they have. You ever heard of the word machismo?
That's against women.
No, that machismo affects men to men too. It's the same thing. Machismo is hold on. Machismo is misogyny. And misogyny, the thing about misogyny is it's hard to cut it on and off. It's not like a switch. It's not a faucet spigot, right? Like it's on all the time. So if they have machismo with women, they also have it with men too.
Well, let me explain this. What I mean is the ability to communicate with your brothers. Black men do not have the ability to communicate with their brothers in an open, honest way. I do not see that issue with Mexican men or white men. The absolutely inability to communicate with your brother about what's going on with your people. You think Mexicans have a lack of communication with each other? What Mexicans are you looking at?
I
see that they have completely taken over California. What do you mean that is not a lack of
wait, this you getting real for real, like xenophobia.
No,
It's we leaning in the xenophobia area now. Let's bring it back, right?
I'm just
saying, I don't like.
Honestly, I'm just saying the issues that black men have with their inability to rely on each other as a place to fall in good and bad times does not exist across the board in other communities of men. That's not. I
don't know about that one, family. Anthony, what's good with it, man?
How you doing, man?
I'm good.
Yeah, I think I agree with what the gentleman was saying. You know, I'm from New York, and my parents are Dominican, but obviously in New York, I'm black.
Yeah.
So I can see things in both sides. I know a lot of Dominicans seem to think that they're not black, but they are.
Mm-hmm.
But you know how that goes. And the problem that I see with my people, the black community, is that we hate on each other too much, man. We don't stick together like the Asians do. We don't stick together like the Chinese.
Wait, hold on. Time out, y'all. I'm sorry. I personally do not want to derail. I think this is a good conversation so far. We are starting to derail it because I don't want this to be a beat up session on black men specifically. And it seems like every day I gotta hear that. And I just would like for today be the day when we just like kind of like don't beat up on black people specifically.
All right.
If that's
All right,
okay.
No
Yeah.
problem. All right. I just think that we should. I'm not really beating up on my people. What I'm saying is that if we were to just emulate a little bit more of what, like, per se, let's say the Jewish people do, if we would emulate that, we would go so much farther and we would be more united, you know? And I think that I think everybody can agree that we're not as united as we should be, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the solution is emulating any other culture. What it is?
No, I'm not saying emulate. I'm sorry to cut you off. I'm not saying emulate other culture. I'm just saying be more united like the other cultures are, not emulate the way they're united.
Well, that's the thing. When you outside of a culture.
Oh man. What happened? My phone just the shit got hot. I need an AC unit in my. I got AC in my. I don't know what the hell be going on, but my phone be getting hot as hell. Oh man, it was just getting good. We was just getting cooking. I'm sorry, y'all. I gotta cool down this phone now. I'm very tired of black men specifically always centering black men in conversations where black men don't need to be centered. like god damn. Can we not do that today? That's all I want to know. Can today be the day? September 2nd, 2024. Can we not center black men today? And turn this into a beat up session of black men or black people or black women? Like, god damn. You're killing me.
feel
Okay.
that they can open up to, because that's what community is, everything. And I think, and especially in our community, we need to stick together. We need to be able to communicate with our friends, with our family members, with our fellow people in our community. And I think there's a stigma almost to not want to share problems with our fellow brothers. You know, I think that's the problem. I think when we're able to be more vulnerable with our friends and our people in our community, I think that's just going to make us as a people, you know, progress a lot faster than otherwise.
Watch this. Let me just show this how this works. When you talk about the ability to talk to your brothers or your sisters, the black women have unified under the
Wait, hold on, Jack and Coke. I'm sorry. I don't know if y'all heard me before. Can we decenter black people for one day?
Yeah.
Because it's not a black, what I'm talking about, I promise you, is not a black issue. And I'm not saying that black people don't suffer from it. I'm just saying it's not specifically about black people, right? Black men or black women.
Let me say this. Can I say this?
Generally, right? That's what you mean?
Yeah, I'm saying because it is an issue with men. And that's why when people say, now, look, Jack and Coke, to your point, I can agree that in other cultures, men aren't as misogynistic as they are in American culture, right? Like I can agree to that. I was telling everybody to go watch Love is Blind UK, and you could just see how the men interact with one another on there. Me and my wife were like, we were amazed at how much better. Now they're still men, you know what I'm saying? But they're just I don't know if they were just a good batch of men. I have no idea. But the men that they picked on that show, they were like leagues ahead of how men communicate with one another in America. Black men, white men, every man in between.
English men are free to be.
I don't know about that because it's black men. They're not.
They're
It's.
English, though.
I know, but they're not. Okay.
They're still English.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're struggling a little bit.
But let me just say this real quick.
Hold on. Let me help you. Okay. How can you be more vulnerable with other men?
Okay, who?
What do you mean? How can we be more vulnerable with other men? We're supposed to be. I'll give you a perfect example. And this is not and I don't want you guys to take this the wrong way. Why do you think that men usually, this is what men do. Men start businesses together. The majority of businesses that are started with men. Men, we have to.
What? That's not true.
It is true. It's just you want to
Make the point. Let him make this point.
I'm saying you didn't even let me make my point.
Go ahead. Okay, I'm sorry.
My point is that we're united. In a sense, we are united because men in general. I'm not talking about black men. I'm talking about men in general. Men do business with each other because we delegate.
Oh, shit.
Let him make the point.
You got problems or something?
Anthony, don't worry. Anthony, it's all good. Kasim, come on. Let Anthony go, man. Let him land the plane.
What I'm trying to say is that men, we unite. We unite for business. The thing is, when we start a business, and let's say 5 guys start a business,
No,
guys
you're not.
say, okay, he's the money guy, he's the marketing guy. We know how to delegate, right?
Mhm.
We know how to delegate. A lot of people don't want to do that, and unfortunately, we delegate our problems. We delegate. We say this guy's better at this, so we're gonna do that. So we're vulnerable in the sense, and we're vulnerable with our men because we know, hey, he's better with the money. So
That's not what vulnerability looks like, brother.
No, brother. But what I'm saying is that maybe it's a different way.
That's just not vulnerability because you're willing to, like, you're not an accountant, so you give, you're not going to be the CFO of the company because you're not the accountant, right? Like you don't have to.
No, the point I'm trying to make is that we know how to do it. We pick and choose when to do it is what I'm saying.
But we don't know. But that wouldn't be an example of men being vulnerable. That's what I'm saying. So how does that prove that we know how to do it?
Example of me saying, you know what, I can't do this, so I'm gonna swallow my pride because I can't do it. He could do it. So in a sense, it is vulnerability. I'm not talking about sitting there and crying. Now, if you're talking about vulnerability of emotional vulnerability, then that's something different than that.
I'm sorry, Anthony. By that logic, if I hire somebody to come over and fix my sink, if I hire a plumber to come over and fix my sink, that would also be considered being vulnerable. Like that, Anthony, I promise you that's the same thing. And it doesn't make any sense.
Because I said people in business together. You're not in business with the plumber.
What doesn't, wait, but you're doing business with the plumber.
No, but you're not in business. I'm talking about business partners. Like I said in the beginning, I said, if 5 men were partners, business partners, I didn't say you were hiring subcontracting somebody. So there is a difference between that. I understand your point. But what I'm saying is if we're in business together, of course, if you hire a plumber, you're not, being vulnerable to because you're hiring a plumber. But if you were 5 plumbers and you started a plumbing business, you would know, every man would know their place. And in turn, we have to be more vulnerable with our friends to open up. Because if we don't open up to each other, who are we going to open up to? We can't open up to women because women weaponize it a lot. And I respect all women.
Hold on, wait. Let's put a pin in that one. Let's stop right there. How do women weaponize men's vulnerabilities against them? Give me an example. I'm not even saying what you have seen because I don't want it to be a personal thing, right? But what does it look like?
From my friends and family,
yeah.
Every time a woman says, "Open up, tell me how you feel," every time there's an argument, they always weaponize it. Meanwhile, men don't do that. Women weaponize men's feelings. Women always say,
"All right, Alicia,
open up, tell us." And you can't. I'm not saying that you seem like a very intelligent man. Okay. You can't say that you haven't heard somebody said that before. How a woman, you tell a woman something and then they weaponize it.
Let me say,
hold on, Jack and Coke, brother, wait, please. I have never had that happen to me personally. I've also never seen it in real life. I've only heard men tell me that it has happened. At some point in time, like I don't think it's ever happened to you. That's why you got to say you saw it with your friends and family because you ain't never seen it. Oh, it has. Okay, cool. Now,
on multiple occasions.
Okay, now let me tell you what I think men deem to be a woman weaponizing a man's vulnerabilities against him, right? So how men interpret that is like this. You'll be in an argument or you will have a disagreement or you will be exhibiting a certain behavior. Your woman will clock it. You guys, argument typically ensues because men are disagreeable and combative for the sake of being disagreeable and combative, right? Because we refuse to grow. So the woman is trying to, hey, Anthony, I really just don't like the way that you, and it doesn't matter how she comes to you. She can come to you in a text message. She could put it in an email. She could, put it on a freaking plane and they could drag it across the sky. Men are going to have the same reaction no matter what, which is to be like, no, right? So now an argument ensues, right? Within that argument, a woman will bring up something about that man that may not be directly the exact same thing, but she'll just be trying to show him how that behavior, other people clock it, right? Or how it affects them in their life outside of their relationship. Like, it's not just me. It is actually hurting you at work too. It's not just me. Your brother said the same thing about you too. It's not, or that's one way, or it'll be like you are being controlling and then the woman will be like, and you're like being jealous. You're a jealous type of person. And then she'll be like, oh, that's because you're like that because your dad left you and you have abandonment issues. He'll take that as like a slight, but in reality, she's just pointing that out like for real. Like, that is why you're so afraid of me leaving you. That's why you don't, like, when I do this, you're like, where are you going? Because you're afraid. And she's just trying to help you understand, like, hey, this is probably why this behavior exists in you. And men know that, by the way. You know that, I know that. But then we lie. We get online and we get around other men and we lie and say very ignorant stuff that, like, women, you can't tell women stuff or they'll use it against you, which you probably have never actually experienced. Like, I almost guarantee you no man up here has actually experienced it outside of the way that I described it.
Every man that I know has too.
Okay.
I think you're the only man that I've heard say that you have it.
Okay.
You are the only man in the world that has it.
Yeah, I'm married. Yeah.
How old are you?
I'm 42.
Well, I'm the same age as
You only married full of grace. Because you have not met 99.9% of these women.
Nor have you.
Yeah,
none of us have.
These women are, man, are you kidding me?
You know what it is,
Let
sir?
me let me just say this real quick.
Exception.
Let me just say this real quick. Let me bring this back to topic real quick. It says men are lonely by choice. There's no such thing as a lonely man epidemic. Let me just really say this. As a man that is 50 years old, that looks reasonably decent, right? That has good, that God has blessed in many ways. Okay, so let me just say this. If you get here and you still maintain your faculties, being single and able to pay your bills is not a bad thing. Because let me just say, my friends, my counterparts with the wives and the children and the grandchildren, look, most of them are overweight. They look.
But wait, you bring it, Jack and Coke. You say he's gonna bring us back to the topic. You're not bringing us. So I want to wait, real quick. I want to, sir, stop. Jack and Coke. Wait, give me. Hold on, brother. Hold on, y'all. I gotta point something out real quick. I got you, Jack and Coke. I'm gonna let you finish, but I gotta point something out real quick. So, in real time, this is why men are lonely. In real time, right? Men lying to other men, men being like men coming out here saying very, very much ignorant stuff. Like, I'm the only man that has never experienced a woman weaponizing my vulnerabilities against me is wildly inaccurate, and is a 1,000 unadulterated lie. And I would love, but do you see how I can give you guys an example? I can literally give you an example that has happened to me. The thing that I described to you guys, that happened to me on multiple occasions, right? And I remember thinking the way you guys think about it before I unpack my misogyny. I used to think that was like, that way. I used to think like, oh man, when she says that about me, she just using that against me. She's trying to sun me. She's trying to put me down. Come to find out that actually wasn't the truth. She was really just trying to help me become, she was really just trying to help me become a better person. And I was unwilling to accept that. You know what I'm saying? In like when it was happening. Fast forward to now, right? After doing some work, right? Doing a little bit of the work, I no longer feel that way. And don't get me wrong, when it happens to me, I still have this visceral reaction. I still feel like, that man is still inside of me. That person, that voice is still inside of me, right? So I feel some type of way, and I want to, but then then that's when the word comes into play, and then I go, okay, that's all right. No, she was just, she's right. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I do that, right? And sometimes it's easier. Sometimes I'm like, nope, she's right. And other times it's not. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I, whatever the case may be. But when it ultimately plays out, I can say with all honesty, my wife or any woman I've ever dealt with, they have never used anything that I've ever told them or anything that they knew about me to like hurt me. Ever. Not one time. And I've been with enough women for it to happen. That's when before y'all, you've been whatever. I've been with enough women for that to happen, and it never happened one time. So I call cap on any man that says that. You will have to prove that to me. You will definitely have to prove that one to me, because I don't think most of y'all have ever experienced that. Go ahead, Tara.
I was just gonna say, I think part of the problem is that's like a solution-based type thing. Like in real time, like, oh, this is what's going on, because when you realize things, when you realize why you do something, that's how you solve it. And the problem is when you bring, for some men, it's like you're so busy trying to win the argument, you don't realize that it's just constructive criticism to bring something out. Like, it gets sensitive. Men
are allergic to constructive criticism, especially in those instances, especially from women, especially in those instances. Especially from women. Double whammy to the ego.
And let me say that I'm not a Bible thumper, but I do like a good book, and I think all good books have a good purpose. So I will just say this. In the story of Samson and Delilah, Delilah asked Samson 3 times, where does your power lie? And each time she told him. He told her, right? After the first time, he told her where his power lied. Yeah. She tried to tie him up or whatever. It didn't work. And then he was like, why you do that? And she was like, oh, whatever. And tell me again where your power lies. So watch this. Let me finish this. Let me finish. And then he told her where his power was again. And she tried it again. And it didn't work again. And he was like, why you do that? Oh, you know, whatever, the soft words of a woman. And then the third time, so he stayed with her, right?
Mhm.
And on the third time, he finally said, you know what? My power is, you got to cut my hair. Okay, so then Delilah cuts his hair.
Yeah.
Right? So then she gets the power. My point is, even in the story of Samson and Delilah, it is clear that women will try to get a hold of a man's power if he lets them.
Yeah,
do so.
I got to say too. Let me say, hold on, Jack. I think that's a good place to land that real quick. Two things: A, the Bible ain't real, so I don't. That's a fable. B, the Bible was written by men to control women. Like at its core, that's what the Bible is. It's a book of oppression. So that story actually makes a lot of sense that they would lie. Because I read that story too, and right now at 42, that story sounds stupid as shit. Thirdly and lastly, Samson should have chosen better. He should have chose better. What the fuck was he doing? She tried it twice. He caught it. He clocked it, but he still went with her. It sounded like he should have chose better. Moving on. That's not. That's not an example of anything. Never. Anytime you cite the Bible when we're talking the real world, it's a disconnect.
No. Let me contextualize that real quick before you go there.
Okay.
Now listen, I am not a Bible thumper by any stretch of the imagination.
Mhm.
I am agnostic to my core.
Okay.
Let me tell you this: I am a prolific reader, and one thing about words and letters and stories, they all have some type of meaning, metaphorical or literal, however you choose to digest it.
Yeah. What if that story was written by a red pill? Wait, Jack. What if that story was written by a misogynistic red pill man back in 1800 BC? That's what I'm saying. Like, just because it was written, just because it's in a book, don't make it real, right? Just because it's in a book doesn't make it relevant or real.
Right, but what my point is who I think it just happened to Tyrese, right? Didn't Tyrese just say his wife married for a business? He was in love.
So you listening to the man.
My point is it happens.
So you wait. Hold on. Time out. So you're listening.
Yeah.
So you've only heard Tyrese talk about it.
No, his wife spoke too.
What did she say? She said she married him for a business.
She didn't. Listen, if you listen to her speak
Mm-hmm.
about the relationship, even when they together, look at when they together. So I don't know what. Listen, maybe you have just been one of the luckiest men in the world to always find a loving, caring, beautiful woman. And if that has been your luck, you are one of the blessed men of the ages. But trust, brother, these women on the other side of the tracks.
Mm-hmm.
Listen.
Let me ask you, Jack and Coke. What do you think? Hold on. Let me ask. Oh, wait. Hold on. I got a question. I got a real question for you. What are some of your downfalls as a man? What are some of yours negative characteristics?
I'm single, so I don't have any.
No, you do. What are they? What have women told you about yourself? Because I'm sure they all say the same thing about you.
I don't communicate. Yeah, they all say that.
Okay, so you're a bad communicator. I can see that. Keep going.
I'm not telling you my business. Why would I tell you my business?
I mean, that's bad. Omission is so you're not vulnerable. I mean, it's not just communication. And if you're not willing to open up.
No, listen, we're all different.
Oh, also, yeah, that's another thing too. Delilah was sent there by other men to trick. She was setting Samson up. Thank you for that. I forgot about that part. So you don't want to open up to a woman that you're in the bed with. By the way, they got $7 on Jack and Coke head. They had 5 or 2 on the other dude head, but he dropped. Go ahead, Jack and Coke. I'm not understanding how the only thing that they said about you is that you're a bad communicator, but being a bad communicator in your mind is that you don't want to open up to her, which means essentially you're not being vulnerable. Am I correct?
Yeah, I'm not vulnerable with anybody. Why would I do that?
Okay, see? Okay. So that sounds like a major setback. So the women, hold on, wait. So let me finish. So the women that encounter you get an emotionally cut off man, an emotionally shut off man. That's what they get with you. It's not about that. You don't have, sir. I gotta tell you something. Let me tell y'all something about relationships. Here, once again, another example. I gotta mute you up, Jack. You got some background noise. Another example of why the lonely epidemic isn't real. Jack is a case study. Perfect. I love that you came up here, Jack and Coke. So you refuse to be vulnerable with your woman. Why would a woman want to be in a relationship with an emotionally stunted man? It doesn't make sense. So you're in a relationship with this woman, and you're not a real person. You have to understand, you're not a real person. You're an NPC. You're not vulnerable with her. You're not a real person. You're not there. You might as well not even be there with her. So, and your response to that cannot be, oh, because if you open up, you might get hurt. Women open up all the time and they get hurt all the but why be in a relationship and not open up? Like, you got to do it. So you are an NPC and you blaming the women. Lastly, hold on, Jack and Coke. Lastly, if you don't open up, how did that woman weaponize your vulnerabilities? If you're not vulnerable, you just said you're not vulnerable with women. How did they use it against you if you're not vulnerable? That doesn't make sense. Where were you vulnerable at for them to use your vulnerability against you?
That's the point. If I send out a fish if I put a line on my fish to catch a fish and I catch the fish, that means you bit the line. That's all the text, baby.
What that mean, man?
Come on now.
That don't mean nothing. That's pimp talk.
That means before I drop a bomb on you, I'm gonna tell you something irrelevant to see who figures it out.
That's also
Manipulation? You're talking about manipulating a woman?
And I know somebody ugly ain't trying me. You had to look in the mirror before you thought to come for me.
Who said that? Who talking about, Jack?
No, sometimes you got to get people together in your conversation. I just tell this girl to look in the mirror before she.
Oh, you talking about somebody in the comments? We don't respond to the comments. Hold on, let me read these super chats. By the way, Nia X, appreciate you. Nia X said, "Men lie to their friends." The end. Simple, straight to the point. Also said $5 on Anthony, $5 on Jack. Jack, how you ain't been nowhere but know how it is in another country? Please ask the men, have they listened to a woman correct their behaviors? Intently purposeful said they don't move with intention, they move in emotion. Let me get Bayesian up here, and then let me get City or City. I'm sorry, brother. I don't know.
Can I say real quick that it's not, and that's them blaming it on women. It's not that women are making you using it against you. It's that you're afraid to be vulnerable. Like, you're literally afraid to open up because of your own issues, and that's part of the problem.
Yeah, so afraid to rip off the Band-Aid. Go ahead, Bayesian. What's good with you?
What's going on, man?
Chilling.
I want to say it's regarding the forums. There are forums that I got a friend of mine. He sit down once a week with a round table of guys and talk about their week, how it went. So it's forums and resources there for men to sit down there and talk amongst other men. Cause he does his. I'm in Atlanta, but he's in Brooklyn, New York. So he sits down there with multiple races of different men. It's a group of 10 of them, but every week. I would say that's the best thing for a man to do: find resources and talk to other men. Regarding what the other young man Jack and Coke was saying, I believe, like myself, I went through post therapy when I went through my divorce. Mm-hmm. So I think men and women need to go through some sort of therapy, because everybody needs some type of therapy to find out what type of person you need or what type of person you are, and what So because everybody's imperfect, that's just the way we are. But we have to find out our flaws, work on our flaws, and each person make it better for another. So regarding, I'm dating now, but I'm very picky. With my ex-wife divorced, right now, I just got one rule when I'm dating: don't call me out my name. I don't call a woman out her name. As soon as you call me out my name, that's it, because I don't do.
What do you mean? What would they call you? How would they?
No, I talk about when I was divorced.
I know. I'm saying, what did they? How would it?
When you get in an argument, pardon my French, but they say MF or a-hole. I don't speak like that. So that's why I say.
What if you're being an asshole?
Yeah, I said we could have a disagreement, but don't curse me out in front of the kids. We could have a disagreement, but keep it within a certain frame.
So you want to police? So you wait. So you want to police how the women react to you? That's weird.
No, because I'm not going to call a woman a B because I'm mad at her.
I mean, calling wait, hold on. Calling you an asshole and you calling her a B word are two different things. You don't know that? Because asshole is not gender specific. There's a different connotation when you call a woman a B word, right? But when you call somebody an asshole, they're an asshole. Or an MFer, also not gender specific. So calling a woman a B word, hold on, Bajan. Calling a woman a B word is not the same as a woman calling you an asshole, because you can call her an asshole because asshole is universal.
Right. But I'm just saying, from my part, regarding everybody, we can have a disagreement, but it's not conducive to an argument to start calling each other names. It's, you can sit down there as adults, you say, and I had to learn, and then even a young lady I talk to now, if we have a disagreement, we sit down there and talk, what's your difference, what my difference is, and then we come to a compromise or come to a resolution. So it's no need apart to get to a point of be like, I was calling each other names. It's like, you're down there 40, this not 20 years old, you're not 20 years old. So that's one of the things that I regarding my line of conflict and keep it down.
Okay. Is it Nee?
It is.
Hey, Nee.
Hello.
Welcome.
So I'm sorry, I'm just gonna pop on here real quick. I'm trying to be a mom real quick. But
Yep.
I'm just very, very curious, guys. Why is it so hard to have accountability as a man? And why is it so difficult to just hear things that may seem like constructive criticism and just take the constructive part and run with it instead of feeling like we're trying to hurt you?
The criticism part.
Exactly. These conversations are for us, for our pruning. We want to be better people. We want a better society. So what's the problem? We can have these conversations without us feeling as though we're attacking each other. I guess my kid agrees. So I don't know. I guess I'm just curious, for all the men who are left on the platform, what's the problem? What's the issue with this conversation without you feeling the need to attack women or have a conversation that is disparaging towards women?
Either one of you, Jack, you can answer that.
Okay, okay. See, this is look. I come up in a different era, so let me be very, very clear. I'm not part of this whole new era. When I came up, pimps were still walking the streets, and when men came around, and he had 5 or 6 women and a bunch of gold on and fox furs. In my day, we called those pimps. Now in 2024, y'all call them simps and womanizers and manipulators. So let's be clear. I come from a different era.
Wait, pimps and simps are two completely different groups of people.
That's my point is it's a different era of how we see man and manhood, right? So when I engage with anybody in a relationship, I am always aware that the other, maybe it's just my own thing, but I am always, if you give me any indication, let me say this, back up just one little thing. I don't like to be bullied. I'll use the word bully for lack of a better word. I don't like to be bullied at all, right? I don't want you to one-up-man me at all in a relationship. Now, let's be careful in a relationship, because I know in business you do it, but I don't like that either. And I'm pretty A-type in that too. But my thing is don't slight me. Don't try any underhandedness with me. Because if you try any underhandedness with me, my ghosting game is bar none. And I'll give you an example. Like if I date white people, right? If they use the word shit one time, I will get up and get my shit and leave. Like, we ain't gonna use that word. When white people talk to me, I don't even want you to say, are you free to hang out? You can't even use that phrase with me. So if that explains why I don't play at all. If we're gonna love each other, we're gonna love each other. If you have an attitude today, then you need to go home and call me when you don't have an attitude. But I'm not gonna hang out with you if I have attitude, and I don't want you to hang out with me if you have.
But hold on, wait. You didn't answer her question.
So that's what I'm saying.
But you didn't answer her question at all. Why are men so reluctant to take constructive criticism, especially from women? Pretty much, that's her question.
Because I'm not, for me, and I'll use Trump
Thank you, Christina.
as this example, because he's one who doesn't take instruction either. Because I don't think anybody can tell me anything better for me. That's just me. I know what's best for me. So you can't tell me what's best for me. That's why I don't take, I guess you call it constructive criticism. Because I know what's best for me. And I don't need you to tell me what's best for me.
So you don't think, hold on. First of all, let me read this Cash App real quick. Cheryl put $5 on Kogi, Jack and Coke. They said for fake pimp. That's 15 on his head. I'm not understanding, why would you be in a partnership, in a relationship with the person and think that they don't know what's best for you? Like, I'm not saying like every single time, but you don't think your partner that is observing you every day might see some things about you that you don't see about yourself?
Let me say this. If I'm with somebody and I see things that are odd, I just consider that to be part of who you are. It's nothing that I need to correct to give you information on. It's just how you are. I take it and leave it and let it go. So if you see, that's what my point is. So if you see something in me that you don't like or you think needs changes, then obviously I'm not the one for you.
So there's no.
Ask the follow-up question too, actually.
Hold on, let me read this Cash App real quick, Nee. It said they both sound like someone great grand boyfriend. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So the first thing is, do you not feel that pimps, being that their whole like goal in life is to manipulate women both emotionally and physically, rob them of their physical, I guess, the things that they need? Yeah, so like the Maslow's hierarchy of need type situation. If you don't know, please Google it. I don't have time. Okay. But that's their goal. So do you think that trying to tell me as a woman, as a young lady who could actually be your daughter age-wise, that that is an appropriate thing to say that I should be dealing with? Do you really think that I should be like, yeah, you know what, I can't wait to find a man who deals like that, who acts like that? What are you missing in terms of the way you're speaking to women when you try to equate your behavior to pimp behavior?
Yeah.
So that's number two. I have one more question.
Hold on, no, Nee, let him answer that one first, because yeah, I think that's fair. Go ahead.
And my answer to that, the first part, is pimping is a profession, so is 304ing. Some of those 304s enjoy the job. And you can simply go to YouTube and Google some of the X304s, and you will see some of them really enjoy the job. Now, if you're one who doesn't enjoy that job, don't do that job. But some of those females
don't do it.
Like the job.
Women. So you think that, BL Vassar, did you know you're up here?
Yes, sir, I did.
Okay, I'm gonna mute you up because you got a lot of background noise. Yeah, I disagree. I don't think that any 304, especially that's being pimped, enjoys it. I don't care what they say. I'm not gonna even hold you. That's something to me, that's like saying a slave could tell you that they enjoy being a slave. That's like saying a child enjoys being molested or they wanted it or whatever. Like, I just don't, it doesn't, being exploited is never fun. So the only reason why you would think it's fun is because you just don't know you being exploited, right? Or you're just so used to the exploitation that you know it's fun, it's natural, it feels natural to you. But nobody being exploited thinks it's fun. That's fucking crazy. Go ahead, ask the other question, Nee. And then I want Beijing to answer your first question. Actually, go ahead.
Right. And then my second question was, given that we now understand the definition of a pimp, what would make you think that a woman will want to partner with a man who has that mentality for the rest of their natural born life? I'm just curious, what would make you desirable to the average woman, especially in modern society with that mindset?
Jack and Coke, that's for you.
Okay, here we go. All women, like all men, are not the same. You have to find out what works for you. All women don't want to sit around and deal with a pansy man who takes instruction well. All women don't want that.
That makes a man a pansy?
Listen, I'm sorry, I disrupted at your door. 36?
Oh, we messing him up. He at the JO. Go ahead, Beijing. We're gonna let Beijing go, and then we'll come back to you, Jack and Coke. Go ahead, Beijing.
All right.
I just want to say this on the young lady part. I want to say this about men taking criticism. I just want to say communication. Like, okay, for anything in the beginning, I would say.
Hold on, wait. I'm sorry, Bajan, real quick. If y'all peep, Jack couldn't even take criticism from that man when he dropped it off at the wrong door. He was ready to argue in that. Go ahead, Bajan. We listen.
I just want to say this, young lady.
We can barely hear you, Bajan. I don't know. You got turn your mic up.
Any strong building that's built, it have a good foundation. So I think on my part, I'm just gonna speak from my experience. Like I have a communication, sit down, we have a conversation and sit down, find out what's, how they best deal with conflict, how I best deal with conflict, how to best come at me or how to best come at her if we have a disagreement. I think communication is the key. Right when you start dating somebody to know what exactly, how to deal with each other. So during the dating process, I would say, have a conversation with that person. You guys have a conversation.
But Bajan, that's not what she asked, bro. Y'all, man. So the first question she asks is, why can't men seem to take constructive criticism from women?
And that's what I'm saying. I said, if you have a relationship, if you start and build out a relationship, that shouldn't be an issue if you guys have a conversation.
But why, when that is the issue, why is it the issue? That would be that's the answer we're looking for. Why do you think it is?
Because at the end of the day, nobody, everybody have certain ways to get triggered regarding when you have a disagreement. So obviously that person has, if you don't have a certain type of mental maturity when it comes to conflict, that person is going to get triggered by that, whatever somebody else say. But you got to have enough mental maturity as a person to step back and look at yourself and see, okay, is this what this person is saying is right? So it takes a certain amount of maturity as a person. But if the person is not mentally mature to deal with a woman saying something about them, then it's going to be a problem. But if you could step back out and look at yourself and then be like, okay, this person has valid points, and then you go from there. I think it's just about maturity.
So essentially you're saying that hold on, Jack. So you're saying essentially that the reason why men don't want to listen to women is because they're not mature enough?
No, I say some men. I'm not saying all men. I say some men.
I didn't say all men either. Men means men in general. The men we're talking about right now. Because most men do have a problem with taking most men have a problem with taking constructive criticism from anybody, especially women. Right?
Right.
So when we talk, so we're just talking about men in general. So men in general struggle with taking criticism from women because of the lack of maturity.
Yeah, there's some mental maturity when it comes to analyzing yourself and if you can look at yourself and say, okay, I got this problem. This person has valid points. Then it's going to be a problem for that man.
Okay. Hold on, wait. Go ahead, Jack. Please make it quick. We got other people. I just want to make sure.
My thing is if I wanted a mama, I would go home and get my mama. My mama told me what to do and how to do it. I don't need the woman that that is laying next to me,
Jack,
to be policing me like my
Jack. Hold on, Jack.
Jack.
I got a question for you. Your mama told you what to do and how to do it, right?
Yeah.
Did your mom?
Hold
on. Wait. And I don't mean this with no shade, no tea, brother. Did your mama tell you how to avoid going to prison?
Yeah, for sure.
She did, and you didn't listen to her, right?
No, actually, my mama said, if you keep doing that, you are going to prison.
Yeah.
And I told my mama,
yeah.
And if I get caught, I'll do the time. If I do
the
crime,
so you wait. I know, but you didn't listen to your own mama. That's the only point I wanted to make. So when you said it seemed like you, but my point is, say what again? Hold on, Beijing. I gotta hear this one. Prison isn't a bad thing.
The experience in and of itself, no, I wouldn't give it back. No, sir, I wouldn't give it back because it was a great experience and I learned a lot. So no, I wouldn't give it back.
What's his name? What's his name?
No, hold on. And I got to prison because we was cashing checks at Bank of America.
What's his name?
We were cashing checks in the 90s. So please understand, when we went to prison as bosses from the streets. We have been making, and this actually this ties in. When we were selling cashing checks, we were cashing checks with pimps and prostitutes. Them was part of our co-defendant train. So this is how I know, hanging out with prostitutes at 304s and pimps, a lot of those girls are not, I don't know where y'all think that they sad and miserable.
Jack and Coke. I just want to tell you something.
Yes.
First, you getting off topic. We don't care about those people.
Okay.
Secondly, my father was a pimp, and I lived with him.
Yeah.
And I saw it firsthand too. He was literally a pimp.
Sir.
Like I literally watched it happen in front of my own eyes.
Sir.
So I know. I understand pimp culture. I understand 304s. I get it. So and those people are miserable. All of them. Pimps are miserable. 304s. Everybody's miserable in that exchange. My dad included. He's a miserable man. So I don't talk to him to this day. He's a miserable person. But I just want to correct something real quick, just so we not spreading false information. To any if the youth is listening, prison is not fun. It's not okay to go. Listen to your fucking mama. That's crazy. I don't know what this man is on. He could try to rationalize it after the fact. I don't even want. There is no explanation you can give that would make me understand why prison was okay for you, other than telling us what his name was.
I was getting money, man. I was getting money. If somebody said to you, if I give you $1 million, will you go do a couple years? Yeah,
No.
do a couple years for $1 million.
Not even for $1 million.
That was.
Not even for $1 million.
For you know, but for some people, because you can't make the money we made in the couple years that you do in prison. So while you still trying to make the money that we have made and spent,
Beja said I'm done. Hey, Beja said I'm done. We done heard it all in 2024.
Listen, I'm gonna do when it comes to getting money. That is something I will always put as number one on my list. Not getting married, not finding somebody that can understand me, not finding somebody that can help me be a better person. No, I'm gonna get that money. And
Okay.
then we're gonna deal with all the other stuff later.
All right.
So yeah, money is always gonna be and whatever the repercussions are to getting money.
Okay.
Chase around. Come on now.
Okay.
I'm not.
Hold on, Jack. You gotta land the plane sometime, brother. You gotta understand. You've been talking more than me, and I'm the host. So let's let some other people speak, and then we'll get back to you. Go ahead, yellow chick. Oh, hold on, my bad. Let me read these super chats real quick. Nia X said he's from the pre-color TV era. He's probably in black and white right now. Hey, not too much on the black and white TVs, because I'm definitely from that era too. God damn it. I had a black and white TV at one point in time in my life. Hey, I'm gonna tell y'all something real, like for real. Hey, there was the TV I had growing up. That motherfucker had a knob that you turned like this, and it had the two knobs. Had the knob on top like this, and it had a knob on the bottom like that. And the knob on the bottom like that. Think about it like hold on. Clarice said Jack sound like a sassy hoe. Hold on. Jack, do you have a roller set or perm? So, but it had two knobs like this. And if you did, so when you turn the TV, it's kind of like, think about your stove, how your stove got the little click, and then you can take the thing off. So you could take the thing off the knob and you could remove it. And that way nobody could, they couldn't fuck with the TV. You turn it to whatever you want to turn it to. You take the knob off, put the knob in your pocket. Now your brother can't come in, your sister can't come in, they can't turn the TV, right? So one day my stepbrother was over there and I turned the knob and I took the knob out and I had it in my pocket. Long story short, we had to get down over the knob. It was hey, and my other stepbrother was there, and my big bro was there, and they the same age, and me and my stepbrother the same age. And our brothers just sitting there watching us get down. We get down in the living room. We scrapping over a knob. Like, that shit funny. I remember that shit like it was yesterday. Anyways, y'all got me reminiscing now. That was a good fight though, man. Damn. Go ahead, Yellow. Hold on, I got one more to read. Tawana said, every time a man spouts off Bible stories, we see how they look to victimize himself. Samson, clearly a hoe, and Samson was clearly a hoe, and because of that, he fell from grace. But what they took from the story was that women are evil. Also, like somebody pointed out, that Samson, some men set Delilah. They sent Delilah there to set him up. Nita Beta said, do these men not understand they have blind spots? No, they don't understand that. That's what we're trying to convey to them right now. Erica Taylor said, but Jack, what if your behaviors are harmful in the relationship? Are you willing to change them? Or willing to change then? I'm gonna let him answer that in a second. You can answer that in a second, Jack. And then lastly, he already left. Osa Bajan just left right now, but she said, please ask Bajan, why did he get divorced twice? He's actually told us his story before. Osa, he's been on my platform a few times. So you can go ahead. We're gonna let Jack answer this question. I'm sorry, because it's coming from a super chat. We want him to answer this question, and we'll get to you. Go ahead, Jack. What if the behaviors are harmful in a relationship? Are you willing to change then?
Quick clarification: what behaviors would be considered harmful? I need to know that first.
Not being vulnerable, not listening to her.
See, I don't think that's a bad behavior, though.
You don't think not listening to your partner is a bad behavior?
No.
Oh my God.
See, that's my point. This is what I'm trying to tell you. Like if I get with somebody, like whatever you do, whatever your tick is, whatever makes you go, whatever sets you off, whatever you are as a person, be that all the time. I don't want you to change nothing for me. So when you come in my space and you start trying to say, well, you can do this to be better, then you obviously have the wrong person.
Okay. Go ahead, yellow chick.
I'm putting some wrinkles on my face today because I feel like I'm making all the faces, and I feel like to keep my skin nice and young looking, I need to not be constantly like making faces. I feel like he's giving me wrinkles.
You got to RBF it. You just got to RBF it for life. Just keep it stoic.
Yes, like very stoic. But he's got me making all the faces. So the prompt. There's no such thing as a lonely man epidemic, and the men are lonely by choice. Absolutely, the hell agree. There are so many pick-me's out there that are unpicked. There's so many of them. They're coming on Beyonce's internet every day, wishing to be loyal, wishing to be submissive, wishing to be led to whatever pond you plan on drowning them in. They want you to lead them straight to the pond. And yet y'all would just not pick. Some of them are beautiful, like on like visually, right? But they're left unpicked, and I don't know why. The men folk could even be picked by women that are mid-range, right? No, not yet 4B. And they're hoping for something, but they don't want to be coached in any kind of way. They want to be Jack and Coke. You know what I'm saying? They want to be Jack and Coke. They want to be Jack no Coke. You know what I mean? They want to be Jack on Coke. They want to be Jack on Coke. Exactly. And this is where we're at. But Jack, I do have a question for you, very quick. How old are you, sir?
50. He's 50.
He's 50.
Yeah, I
I
knew.
knew.
49.
49. You ain't that much older than us, brother.
I know. But why your voice sounds so much older than ours, though?
Because he been in jail. That shit aged you. Nigga sound like a boomer.
You know, jail is bad for the throat.
It is.
Stop it. Listen, I made it to 50, baby. I made it to 50, and I'm height weight proportionate. That's all I got.
That's good.
All right.
You like me.
The last thing that I want to help the men out with one thing, and then I'm going to land my little go. If I can hang for a bit and collect some followers, I'll do that.
Y'all got 25 on Jack Head. Go ahead. We listening.
Yeah. Men folk, it seems that many of you, most of you, the vast majority of you, have difficulty with answering direct questions. So when I was in elementary school, they gave us a tactic to help us with that. So what you do is you take the end part of the question and you put it at the beginning part of your answer. That will help keep you on track. All right. So she said, why do men have difficulties taking constructive criticism?
Mhm.
So to stay on track, you will say, men often have difficulties with constructive criticism.
Blah 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 blah
Say
blah blah blah.
pause,
Mm-hmm.
and it will help you.
Yep.
I think that
No, bro. That is really. I think that's not. I'm not even playing. Like that's real. Men need to do that more because we cannot answer direct questions. It's the most amazing phenomenon I've ever observed on this app. How it's damn near impossible at this point. It should be studied. Like I'm like, what the fuck is going? I ask a man a direct question, and we just can't get to it. Like fuck. It's crazy, bro.
Some things need context, though. Some questions
you can
deserve
begin
context.
still, sir. You can begin with your opinion and then give the context on the back end.
Yep.
So it could look like men have difficulty taking criticism because they tend to be immature, which was the answer that was given before.
Mhm.
They tend to be immature. It hurts their ego.
Yep.
They think that they're always right.
Yep.
They misinterpret constructive criticism as being attacked,
Mhm.
right?
Deliberately. Deliberately. They deliberately think
Yeah, and then you do the full stop, and then you can say, but often what is actually going on, and then you insert your bullshit there. But the rest of us feel satisfied because we got the answer to the direct question up front.
we got some
We ain't
answers.
asking for that shit up front. Give us that part at the front.
Yep.
Don't make us wait for it. It's cruel.
Yep. That's it. I agree with that 100%. We're gonna try it again. BL Vassar, what's good with you, family? Oh, let me send him an invite to unmute his mic. Westside Band, what's good with you? Oh, both of y'all. I'm sorry. There you go. BL came off from mute. Go ahead, BL. Please respond to the prompt if you can.
Yeah, no problem. You're doing a great job, and a hello to the rest of the panel.
Thank you.
I don't think it's epidemic proportions, but there's some work to be done. 67-year-old, married 27 years.
Nice.
Laid her to rest 11 years ago. So,
oh no.
And I only get that little short resume because I don't have a whole lot of empty words without some type of experience, which is one of the best educators that you can ever have. And so, yeah, I want to reference a slight to a lonely man. A wise man said one day it's not good for man to be alone. I'll just stop right there and give some space for somebody else to have some input.
Okay. Go ahead, Westside Band.
All right, so this is kind of like my first time hearing about a lonely man epidemic. So is this just like men not getting married or something like that? Like, what is
No,
is a lonely man?
men not having friendships, men not having relationships with women, friendships with men, being isolated.
I don't know how that is, because you can just walk outside and you end up with a friend. So I don't know how men are just out here lonely unless they think unless people have let them down so much that they just don't trust people, and then they just prefer to say it to themselves.
No, I don't think that's what's happening. Also, you could have 10. No, you could have 10 friends and still feel lonely because you don't connect with any of them, because you're not being vulnerable, or they're not being vulnerable with you, and you have a surface level, a shallow experience with them, or a shallow relationship, right? So it doesn't like, yeah, you could bump into somebody and strike up a friendship with them or whatever, but that's easier said than done, because I don't think most people are out here doing that. And B, even if you got their phone number, even if you guys are mutuals on Instagram and whatever, you can still feel disconnected from those people.
Okay, got you.
Hold on, let him go. Go ahead, Westside.
No, I'm gonna let it go.
Okay, go ahead, Tara.
I just want to ask the men a question. Hopefully y'all can answer it directly. I'm just curious. Why do y'all get in relationships with women?
Good question. You can, go ahead, Westside Bam. You can answer that.
One more time.
Well, me personally, I get into relationships because I eventually want to have a family. I want to get married. I want to have kids, so on and so forth. Like, that's just the short of it. Like, I don't really have much to add to that.
Okay. Go ahead, BL.
Yeah, for 27 years, it was a development of serving my wife. That was the basis of it. Yeah, it has a biblical base to it, but that's what we're built to do, to serve, to supply, to take care of, to protect. And in providing, there's many things that we provide as men that we've been built that way. We prove it on the good side of life, and we prove it on the bad side. You know, men can have a side piece, and in his death make provisions for the one he was doing the dirt with. And that's, I'm not saying it's justified.
What?
I'm saying it's how he is built to provide. So yes,
That's a wild statement.
That's.
You don't think that that's wild? You don't. What would be the intention of making that statement? We could barely hear you, BL. You got a lot of noise. Your mic is low. Go ahead. I'm listening.
Well, I'm holding my hand. Yeah, go ahead. No.
That's the question. I'm trying to figure out what was the relevancy of that statement.
Men are built to provide. I mean, it's real simple words. You don't need a thesaurus to understand that. We are built to provide. So when the
provide what?
young lady asks about relationships,
provide what?
Everything that the relationship needs.
What?
Emotional support.
So
okay.
Men are built to provide.
We just get in a relationship.
You said what, BL?
Go ahead.
No, so men are built to provide financially and emotionally. We're built for that. If we're built for that, then we are doing a terrible job at both, right?
This man said provide everything, and I wanted to know if that man's wife needed him to provide her, had him cheating. Is that what she needed you to provide, or needed her husband to provide? She needed him to provide a side chick. I'm switching. Okay.
If we're going to take the word that literal in provide everything, I don't think a person would be too smart to receive something that is detrimental in the provision process. Of course,
what?
I wouldn't have stayed married 27 years with a daughter who is only 36 years old if my wife was going to accept me providing something counterproductive, something that is so negative. So of course not. What? But y'all, I can see this. I don't know. This is something that's been happening to me the last 3 days. And I am not known on social media, period, for these type of conflicts. I don't, it's happened 3 days in a row.
What has happened, BL? I'm missing. What happened?
Such a misunderstanding of what just anything I say anything about.
I don't think we misunderstood. Wait, BL, I want to be clear. When people disagree with you, it's not because they I don't even know. Can you hear me while I'm talking? It's not a misunderstanding. We understand. Are you not hearing me? We understand what you're saying. We just disagree with you. It's not a misunderstanding. I don't misunderstand what you're saying. I completely understand what you're saying. We just don't agree.
Let me say this. And this is the perfect question for BL. Watch this, BL. I have a question. Because you're from that generation we always talk about, where back then, because you're with the women who had limited choices economically, right? So back then, 20, 36 years ago, right? Women were completely different than the women are today.
Cap.
So yeah, back then you provided the money, and because you provided most of the economics for the household, it's pretty much your dictatorship, which I guess you would call, like what you said, emotional support. I consider that the dictatorship of the man who makes the money, right? So, like my grandmother's household.
Not Jack Spitting.
No, my grandma's household is a completely different household than my sister's household, because my sister makes a whole bunch of money as opposed to my grandpa, who was the breadwinner. That makes sense. So like, we understand what you're saying, DL, but you are the perfect person for these conversations we always have between women pre-economic boom and women post-economic boom.
Can we establish BL's age? Because I don't think he's that much older than Jack.
He's 67.
67, almost 70.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's significantly older. Yeah, he's the same age as my mom. Yeah, you're the exact same age as my mom. Mm-hmm.
My parents' household didn't work that way, and my mom is 80. But okay.
Shit.
My parents and grandparents were more like that. Me and my wife both have degrees. She had a master's from Ohio State.
Nice.
So my mind, even though I come through that area, I am not totally a byproduct of that area. I come through all that area, Motown, all of it. The Kennedys, Martin, all of that. But yet and still, I'm still progressive enough in my thinking to where I am in the right now with the current generation. And the biggest part of that, I have to have the right approach, because there is such a big gap between the two.
Yeah, the gap. First of all, I don't think the women 50 years ago is that much different than the women now. And when I say it, I don't think it's, if you would have asked the women 50 years ago, right, would you rather not have to depend on a man economically and have your, you know what I'm saying, and make your own money and have more autonomy? Or would you rather be provided for economically or financially by a man, but you know, you're going to end up like your grandma or your mama, right? With their head knocked between the washer and dryer, or completely neglected, or some combination of the two. Which one would you choose? The women 50 years ago would choose the situation now. The women 100 years ago would choose the situation now.
Watch this.
So I don't think the women back then were that much different. I think the women back then always knew they were getting a raw deal. They always knew it. That's why they've been fighting so hard against it for the last.
Watch this. Women on the panel, would you rather be, if you could have a genie in a bottle, would you rather marry your unicorn, the man with the good love, the man who opens up, the man who's, you know, all the things, and he's a millionaire? Or would you want to be a millionaire and meet the broke man with all the things? That's the question.
You missed the vernacular live. We did it today.
Mm.
And Vanity brought in a word today, and the word was niggatheticals. All right, niggatheticals.
That's one of my favorite words she uses. I love that word.
Yes, and a niggathetical is a hypothetical that is typically presented to Black women where both of the options suck.
Mm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, this is a perfect time to introduce that, because that's what that was.
Hypothetical. So it's a hypothetical where both of the options suck.
Yep.
So
we got it.
If I had an opportunity, like the second option would be the one that I would go for, but it would never happen. If I was a millionaire, there would never be a broke man in my house beating my ass. Like,
No. That's not. That's not what he said. He said that if you met the guy, he was just broke, but he had all the qualities, the good qualities in a man that you would want, right? Like he's nice, he's empathetic, he's whatever. But you're the millionaire. Which one would you choose? Versus the opposite man, where he's the millionaire, but he's abusing you pretty much.
In both scenarios, he is the unicorn. but one is a unicorn with the $1 million, and the other is the unicorn
Oh,
with no money. But both of them are good men. Just one.
got you.
The one is Kris Jenner's man, the broke Corey Gamble. That Kris Jenner go gets the little man with no money, Corey Gamble, right?
Okay.
So that's one example. Or are you going to be the woman with no money, right? Who marries the man with all the personality, who is the money, like any girl in the world.
What does the scenario look like where I'm the millionaire?
Yeah, now you lost me because that ain't what he's.
This is the thing. Okay, let me give it to you like this. Let me give it to you like this.
Jack, hold on, because I'm going to ask my question very directly. I specifically want to hear about the man that I'm with. If I'm the millionaire, tell me about him.
Okay, I'll give you the perfect example. You're out to eat by yourself, like right now, right? You're on TikTok. You're doing your thing. You're waiting. Watch this.
Hey, y'all, hold on, wait. This ain't hold on. This ain't an enigma. This is this is. Hold on, wait. This ain't an enigma. This is a nigga. This shit crazy.
This happened to the Tia Mowry girl.
What?
Listen, yeah, she took the broke dude. That's how she ended up the one who married the brother.
But he was neglectful.
He was on the side of the street like serving burgers.
No, he wasn't. He was an actor.
But when she met him, she didn't meet him. Come on now, she met him on the. I swear, look it up.
I believe it. I'm just saying he was an actor though.
When she met him, she knew he didn't have 10 cents to his.
He didn't have much money. You're right. She made more. She had more money than him.
My example.
Yeah.
You could be.
But he wasn't the unicorn though, brother.
One of the twins that get the broke guy.
Yeah.
Right.
We're not together anymore.
But they not together because that nigga was neglectful. So what the fuck? He not the unicorn, bro. They would still be together.
That's what I want to know. What do you consider the unicorn?
We can use Oprah as you get my point. I get what you're trying to break.
He's rich on his own as well.
It's not really that complicated. My point is, would you rather be the wealthy one in a relationship with the good guy, or because y'all say y'all want a man to lead in all the things? So
Who told you that? Y'all got to stop speaking for women. Y'all got to stop speaking for women. I've never heard that before.
This is what they say.
That's not what they say. That's what you say about women. Men got to stop telling y'all. Got to stop telling women what they like based on what you're attracted to as a man. You like those qualities in men. So that's what you gravitate toward. You gravitate towards the leadership of another man. Men love to be led by other men. Stop assuming that women also want to be led by other men. That's something that are led by men. Y'all got to stop that shit, bro. Women like women. And you want to talk, somebody mentioned nature, right? When we talk about nature, I think human beings, I think it's the nature of human beings. But women now, it hasn't been conditioned out of them or socialized out of them. Women like partnership. They like when you help, they help, you help, I help, I do this, you do that. I got a little of that. I got a little, okay, you cooking, I'm a clean. Like, that's what women like, because that's what everybody, I think that's the healthiest exchange in a relationship, right? Generally speaking, it makes perfect sense. Not where somebody is doing all of this and the other person is doing all of that. Like, that creates deficiencies typically, right? But if everybody is doing a little bit of everything, then you ain't got to worry about no deficiencies, right? Everybody, you ain't never got to worry about getting burnt out on taking out the trash, because everybody's taking out the fucking trash. You don't got to get burnt out on watching the kids because everybody's watching the kids, right? So that seems like the most logical approach in any fucking relationship, even outside of an intimate relationship, right? Even just in a friendship, that seems like the logical approach, right? Okay, cool. That's what I have heard women say that they want. And that's how they live. Fuck even what they say they want. That's how most women try to function in the relationship. That's what I've seen firsthand. That's how women they'll try to mold the relationship in that way. So what are you talking about? Women and my wife ain't never been waiting around for me to lead her. What the fuck?
And this is what I say to this. I'm ready to answer your question. Let me close on this. This is why I'm single, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Nah, this ain't why you single. Cause we done clocked a few reasons why you single. Hopefully it's one of them.
Every day.
Okay.
And I gotta fight in this world every day.
Okay.
To do what I do, to pay my bills, to get done what I get done.
Okay.
The last thing I am worried about is going home to
Thanks,
fight
Yolanda.
for a relationship. I ain't fighting to keep you next to me.
You shouldn't have to.
It's easy for you to be next to me. You can. All y'all keep talking about is get to and change me and make me better for you and all this. We are not meant to be together. Go find you a piece of Play-Doh and enjoy that man.
I love that you single. I think one of your most endearing qualities, Jack and Coke, is that you're single. Like, I love that about you, that you are single, because I think you need to stay far away from women. And you are, and I think you already know that. Let Jace get up in here real quick, and then Yellow, I want you to respond. Go ahead, Jace. Oh, we can't even hear you, fam. We can't even hear you. You unmuted, but nope, still can't hear you. I know it's weird. You unmuted. Drop it, come back. Drop it, come back. I got you. Go ahead, Yellow.
All right, so I'm going to answer Jack's question of the millionaire scenario. Sir, 100,000%. I will choose myself being the millionaire.
Yeah.
I will choose myself being the millionaire. Whether that means that I end up staying all the way single and going out with the girlies, my whole Discord, we on vacation, right? Whether it means I have a dude that also has money, whether it means I have a man around me that doesn't really have money, but I enjoy his company, it does not matter. In the scenario where I'm the millionaire, I'm choosing that 100,000% of the time, because if that man gets on my nerves, I can kick him out and I will still be the millionaire. And I won't marry him without a prenup.
All right. I think Jace is still muted. Go ahead, Jace. I can't hear you. You gonna have to swipe out the app and come back. That's what it is. Yeah. Oh, no. Oh, we can hear you now. It just came back. Yeah, there you go. That was crazy. It's low again. It's low again. Hold on, BL. It's low again. I heard you for 2 seconds and then it went back out. That's weird. Okay, go out the app and come back. All right, go ahead, BL. Go ahead, BL.
Yo, you got me?
Yeah, we hear you now.
Hello. Yeah. I saw self-care in what Yellow was just saying. Self-care. Being true to herself. Love your neighbor as yourself. It begins with self. And so I just thought it was a good answer. Yeah, she's gonna and multiply it and benefit whichever way the door swings with the man.
They got let me read these super chats real quick. Also put 5 on BL. She said, you see how he got up there and pretended to be a good man with the side chick? Nigga, what? And you pretending to be religious? Oh man. We're gonna have to circle back on that one, because we're gonna have to hold on, nah, man. No. When I'm reading these super chats, these super chats come first. Lola Ray said, you are doing a great job. Glad you are holding these men accountable for their actions. Have you ever watched Cynthia G? Do you agree with her content? I have seen some of her videos. I thought she was funny. I don't see them no more because she went off of the app, but I used to think they were funny. Osa said that man sent that woman to an early grave. God damn. Woo, this is a heavy. These are heavy ones. Go ahead, BL. Go ahead and answer, BL. You can respond, brother.
No, I don't address it. I'm through.
Okay.
Because I mean, they have no life.
Jack, you got to let BL respond. Go ahead, BL.
Yeah, they have no actual life experience, and then want to charge me with driving her to an early grave. That's a serious statement. And then the other one about I pretended to be a Christian man, and yet they're charged with doing to my wife that I was just giving an example of. It is crazy.
So you weren't saying you had a side chick.
Yeah.
You were just saying hypothetically, niggathetically. Everybody
hear me still?
Go ahead, Jace. We can hear you now.
I don't know what was wrong with that, but I do want to pop up here because I was reading the prompt and last said I've been up here many moons ago, but So big fan of Pub.
Thanks, brother.
Let's talk about the lonely man epidemic. So, you're saying there's no such thing.
Mhm.
Now, I agree to the sentiment. Like, I see what you're talking about, but I do believe that there is a lonely man epidemic, but not for the reason they're saying that it is, right? Like, the top of the problem is, like, they're lonely by choice. But then I want to come from the perspective of someone my age. So I'm 22, right? And I know Mr. Dragon Coke, he's 50 years old, but you surprised how many young men my age and lower who are saying this same exact rhetoric. And I'm like,
I'm not
how
surprised.
in the world? I'm like how in the world? Like, I work at a adult store because I know we're on TikTok, so I can't say what it is, but you catch my drift, right? And how many of these young men come in with the exact rhetoric? And the fact that it's like just me and the other guy in the store, they'll just go on this long-winded rant about misogyny and these females this and females that. So I feel like there is a lonely man epidemic, but because these young men are being lied to, they're being led astray by this red pill nonsense. It's like, I'm like, and the fact that, and no disrespect to Mr. Jack Cook, but like, you're 50 years old and still saying this stuff? Like, do you really feel like you are infallible? Like, a woman can't tell me nothing. One can't tell me nothing. It's like, okay, and you went to prison and you're up here gaslighting yourself, telling yourself that this traumatizing ass experience is, oh no, this was good. And I'm a firm believer in positive manifestation and thinking positively about situations, but no, that is a bad situation. You're trying to gaslight yourself into believing that you are okay. Like, it's the same sentiment of that black generational trauma as, I got beat and I turned out fine.
I was just about to say that, Jace. I'm glad you said it. That was perfect.
You're gaslighting yourself. And so when young men hear this, they're saying that exact same bull crap. Like, women don't care about our feelings. They weaponize or whatever.
Yep. They don't stand. It's almost like they don't stand a chance, right? You 22, and then you hear a 50-year-old man say that shit. You go, oh, big buck.
Let me just give a small response.
Hold on, Jace wasn't finished yet. Wait, Jack. I'm gonna let Jace. We gonna let Jace finish, and then I'm gonna let you respond. I promise. Go ahead.
I wrapped up now because I want to hear, what he has to say about a 22-year-old, hearing this from his fellow peers and younger. Like, I'm talking about 18-year-old guy showing me their ID to get into the store. And saying this is that these females, bro. I'm like, what? What experience do you have? You just turned your tassel, bro. Like,
Go ahead, Jack and Coke. Please, you can respond now.
So let me hear. So I'm 50, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I have done it my way for 50 years, literally, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what I will tell you is my peers look a hot mess. You understand what I'm saying?
But are they door dashing?
Hold on. Let me come. Hold on. We can go to fake. Because remember, I'm born in 19.
They paid to drop him. They clipped him.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Oh, that's the ads right there. 50 to drop, brother. Sorry, Jack and Coke. You pay 100 and come back, man. If you got time, they pay 50 to drop you, fam. You can come back tomorrow too. When it starts all over again. Everything is reset the next day. Shout out to Alicia. She's the one that dropped them. Let me read this super chat. Rosie Palm said, these men are choosing to not be better people. So, yes, they are lonely by choice. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Rosie. I mean, yeah. That's why I hate referring to it as an epidemic. The epidemic is misogyny. Right? That's the epidemic. And then men are choosing to sign up for misogyny. That's the,
It's unfair because it really is like, you said earlier, because I say this all the time. I was like, you can be in a room full of people and be alone. And I'm like, there really is like a loneliness epidemic because from birth, men are taught a certain way of being, obviously the patriarchy. We know that.
Mm-hmm.
But to have it reinforced by older guys like Jack and Coke, I'm like, and then he's like talking about like, I mean, he's going on these long-winded rants and tangents. I'm like, you saying a whole bunch of word salad right now. You're not really saying nothing.
Nope. And then the things you could clock, they were extremely problematic. Like when you finally did catch on to what he was saying, it would be like, yeah. And another thing, I don't need to listen to nobody. And I'm like, wait, nobody? I don't need a mama. I'm like, I do agree with that. Oh, but yeah, you went to jail, so you needed your mama. You didn't listen to your mama. God damn. Like, you've been doing it your way for 50 years. That is not a badge of honor. I'm sorry. Especially when you 50 and door dashing. And I ain't gonna hold you. I'm not that may come off as elitist, but there's a trend. There's a connection. That's all I'm saying. There's a connection there. That's all I'm saying. There's a connection there.
These men really do not like women
At all.
and I don't understand why they won't leave women alone. So, okay, if you are a man and you don't like women,
Because they need vagina.
you only want them for the sex utility, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then you can usually find women that are in a phase of life right now where they only want to do the sex utility. You can't hear me?
I can hear perfectly fine.
Okay. You can usually find a woman that happens to be in a phase of her life where she's only looking for the sex utility.
Mm-hmm.
Go find those women and do that. But they'll be begging for relationships, but they don't like women.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make any sense at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and you'll ask them, like, well, why do you deal with women? They're like, well, I want to be a husband and have a wife and kids. Sir, you don't like women.
Facts. Hey, Joya said, doing it your way for 50 years and you still fucked up. 50 years of getting it wrong is crazy. That's a crazy ass streak. That's a long ass streak of fucking up. At some point, you would think like year 38 or something, you just get lucky, like, fuck it, I figured it out. You know what I'm saying? But nope. Bird, what's good with it?
All right. Hi, everybody. So I just happened to be looking up some stuff, and this lonely man epidemic has to also be because a lot of these men are not pouring into their children, just like they're not pouring into their relationships. Mm-hmm. So there's something that I talk about. If you watch the Barbie movie, mm-hmm. Ken made the Mojo Dojo Casa House, right? Well, I talk about right now the current set of men are going to end up in the old band Mojo Dojo Casa House. Mm-hmm. They're going to have to be in this community of old men together because they are not building up relationships with women. They're not building up relationships with men. I mean, with
friends, yeah.
Children. Mm-hmm. So they're going to have to come together because one person might know how to make a sandwich. One person might know how to wipe the counter down. One person might know and understand that you're supposed to lift up the toilet seat to clean underneath it. So I say that, it's going to be a community. It's going to be the old man Mojo Dojo Casa House. So
never, it'll never work.
It's going to have to.
It'll never work.
The thing is, without them paying into long-term care, without them
that's just expensive.
Building relationships with their children,
mm-hmm.
a lot of these men, once they divorce the woman, they stop contact with the children because they never actually cared about the children. They cared about making that the anchor.
Yeah.
So now what I have behind me, and people can look this up, is time spent, and this is from the World Economic Forum. You can't really see it that well.
Yeah.
But the circles are for the women, the little squares are for the men. And the circles represent the amount of time that the women in that particular country spend with their children. And the little squares represent in minutes the amount of time men spend with their children.
Mm-hmm.
And so there is always there's usually, not always, but there's usually a big gap in the amount of time that mothers are spending with their kids versus men, with the exception of Finland, where dads spend 8 minutes more than the women. And I think it's Spain where it's pretty neck and neck.
That's crazy.
It looks like what is that? I don't know what AUT stands for. What country AUT?
Austria or Australia? No, AUS is Australia. AUT. I don't know.
I don't know what AUT is.
Okay.
But basically, in most of these countries, the mom is doing the
labor.
Mm-hmm. No matter what people are saying, typically, and women know this, that we don't even really have to say it. Like, we do the majority of the work.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the reason why Mother's Day That's the reason why Mother's Day is always popping.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the reason why you could run in anywhere and get a table on Father's Day. It's just going to happen like that. And so there is a lonely man epidemic, but it's because of them. It's because they, instead of pouring into their children, they are pouring into their next life. And they're not caring. Like, literally, there has to be some balance, right? There needs to be some balance in how you pour into your health. And that man is 50. There's way too many Black men that are expiring in their 50s these days. They're not taking care of their health. They're not taking care of their mental well-being. They're not taking care of their relationships that are friendships with. There's no platonic friendships with women. They're not taking care of the relationships with their children. And instead of getting mental health, some mental health help, they are turning to podcasts, and it becomes a cycle that just reinforces itself.
We call it the circle jerk.
So
it's the circle jerk.
They like to slob on the knob.
Cyber slurping. Slurping.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Cyber slurping.
Mm-hmm.
That is it. So I just wanted to show y'all that graph and show y'all that, the whole, there is also data. I can't just pull it up right now. That once a family divorces, typically the dad loses contact most times with their children, and this is all of their making, because with like, they find all of the reasons to stay out on the weekends. They find all of these reasons to stay and work late. There's always a reason. And so if you don't pour into those relationships, you don't water those relationships, you're going to have nothing by the time you are old, and you end up in the old man mojo dojo casa house.
Damn. Good luck with that one. Yamaya, go ahead. Good luck with the I don't think it'll ever work personally, just because I don't think men can get along in that. But they're gonna have to find somewhere to die. Because they can't afford it. Oh man.
Thank you so much for having me up. I'm a huge fan, and I really appreciate
Thank you.
Your message, and I appreciate your perspective and talking to folks. Burb, I'm glad that you presented that the data that you did. So I want to add a little bit more to that. So here's the irony. A lot of men will tell women, well, if you were sort of investing in yourself and you have standards, oh, I have bars. Can y'all hear me still?
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay. They say, these new women, this generation or whatever, are, investing in themselves, and they have standards. And what's going to happen is you're just going to end up, unaliving alone with a bunch of cats. Mm-hmm. But the stats show unequivocally that men are more likely
to have a cat,
be alone. I beg your pardon?
Men are more likely to have a cat, but no.
Correct. They're more likely to have a cat, pun not intended, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is. So they're actually more likely to end up in the homes that you talked about by themselves, and they expire. Mm-hmm. And so the question becomes why. So it's twofold. Firstly, women, we are socialized to make relationships. Even outside of our marriage, outside of our family, we are socialized to be more relational. The other thing is women are much more likely to pursue mental health. Mm-hmm. So when we're talking about being vulnerable, we need to make a distinction between vulnerability versus like emotional dumping, which men oftentimes are socialized to do and center themselves. And so part of like what the interesting thing I thought about when Burb was saying is, when she was getting to the fact that they need to be watering their relationships. Here's a tragic thing. I don't think they know how because they haven't dealt with their shit. And so what we're having now is there's a break in trends, and this goes with women whether they're in their 20s or whether they're in their 60s and 70s. And here's the other caveat. Women who are married to, like the older gentleman who was up here, are starting to leave their partners as well, because what they find is, we're living longer, and do I really want to spend the last 20 years of my life in a marriage that is not fulfilling? I'm not gonna, what I want to do is, travel, and I want to do all these other things. And so as women are investing more in their mental health, as women are taking better care of their physical health, they are imagining, better ways of having relationships and better ways of living. And unfortunately, a lot of men are not doing the same.
Mm-hmm.
And so what it means is men have to do something that they arguably haven't had to do in most patriarchal societies. And that is, you have to be likable. You can't simply just, rely on the fact that you're going to be a co-contributor to a household or the sole contributor. No, you must be likable.
Yep.
People have to want to be around you.
Facts. Let me read these super chats real quick, and then we're gonna go to Emmanuel. Osa said, Jace and Good Toys come out asking for a friend. Jace work at that shop with them toys. Luluella said, tell me that was not Charles' older pimp brother. She was referring to Jack on Coke. Go ahead, Emmanuel.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, fam.
I saw one of your old podcasts, and I saw your recent podcast, and I'm just wondering. I kind of find a contradiction, and I just want to know if it's a contradiction or whether you change your mind.
Okay, what's the contradiction?
No, I'm saying if it's a contradiction or you just changed your mind.
I know. I'm asking you what's the contradiction.
So on one of your videos, one of your lives, you said that the society expectation of genders is harmful, right? Saying that men exist in this role, women exist on this role is usually bad and toxic.
Yep.
But on one of your podcasts, you said that men are the ones that are supposed to pay for dates. So isn't that like a gender role that you're asserting, or are you just saying gender roles you're just talking about as a husband and wife?
So I think that to acknowledge that gender roles exist and they play a part in our society, whether I like them or not, is completely different. It's like talking about race, like race. I know that race isn't a real thing, right? I don't know if you know that, and I don't know who knows that, but race isn't it's a social construct, the same as gender is, right? Okay. So though race exists, though I know race isn't a real thing, the world still operates on that system. So I would be stupid to project that onto the rest of the world and expect the rest of the world to think the way that I think. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, I know that the system of racism still exists. So if I were talking to white people or black people, I would say, hey, we got to move like this, we got to move like that, because of this system, right? That we still exist in, that is still oppressive to us. Now, does that negate the fact that racism isn't a real thing? No, it's just it's in reality it plays out differently, right? So when I said that that men should pay for dates, the reason why is because men are socialized to we are threats to women, right? Like if a woman is smart and a woman understands the nature, I won't say the nature, I'm sorry. If they understand the how men are conditioned, right? They would understand that generally speaking, men are threats to them. Just generally speaking, right? So if you are a man, you have to earn the right to be around the woman. You have to prove to her that you're not a threat, right? Physically, obviously, but beyond that, you have to also prove you're not a threat to her emotional stability, her mental health, and so on and so forth, right? One of the ways men do that is being intentional when they date women, right? So paying for a date, planning the date out, right? Things of that nature. These are early on, these are like baby steps in that process. So when I say men should pay for dates, that's what I'm talking about. I'm saying that I understand the logic behind men paying for dates, right? Now, in a genderless society, men shouldn't pay for dates, right? In a society where genders don't exist, therefore gender roles won't exist, men wouldn't pay for dates. Men wouldn't be expected to pay for dates. But in this society, in this one right now, the way that it's set up right now, men most certainly should be paying for dates. And when I say that, I'm saying like early on, definitely at some point in time, you don't even got to say it. Women are going to pay. Women are very generous, generally speaking. They don't care. They trick. We know that, right? Like that ain't nothing new to anybody that's ever been close to a woman. But definitely initially, you should do that. Like you, as a man, I feel like I would be remiss if I didn't give men that bit of advice. Like, hey, because I'm seeing now a lot of men are like on this weird ass, like, why should we pay for dates? Like all of a sudden, y'all want to live in an egalitarian society when it comes to paying for dates, but nothing else, right? When it comes to nothing else, when it comes to the household duties, when it comes to the labor in the home, when it comes to the smacks, like you get yours, she don't get her, like everywhere else you don't give a fuck. But when it comes to paying for dates, now all of a sudden you motherfucking you want to see women as equals. That's what I'm saying. So that's why I made that prompt, and that's why I had that conversation.
Thanks for the clarification. And the reason I brought it up is because I tried to join in that day, but there were more requests, and I just clicked the button.
Understand.
Thank you.
Okay.
Can I jump in?
Yes, go ahead, Bert.
In that part, the men of right now, and it could even be the men of a long time ago. I don't know, but they're not particularly likable. Like they don't like us as humans, and so a lot of times, let's say we get together with our friends. My girl Kay, she's gonna bring some fruit salad. I'm gonna make some sandwiches. I'm gonna make sure everybody has a sandwich. Somebody else is going to bring the drinks. It's going to be non-alcoholic drinks. It's going to be a margarita. It's going to be something. We're going to all come to one house. Everybody's going to clean up after themselves, or somebody else is going to bring some paper plates and some paper cups. We're going to all do something, and we're going to have a conversation on a friendship level where everybody is like chuckling. It's fun. A lot of times it's honestly more fun these days for women and safer for women to just hang out with their friends. And it's not like we're trying to like get over on somebody else. We know that most of us work, because we work, and we can pay into things. But that goes back to the egalitarian situation where it is a lot more equal. And even if it's not equal, even if you have a friend that might be having a hard time, somebody else is going to be like, don't even worry, Tasha. Just come on. We just want to have you around, because we understand that sometimes you have to prop somebody else up, because there's going to be another time when maybe I'm down because I'm sick, and then everybody's going to surround me. But when it comes to men, it's like they're looking at, I put the coin in the date. I expect the smecks to come out.
Yep.
I talk for 30 minutes to 60 minutes, and I expect the smecks to come out. It's like there's no give and take. There's no giving a damn about my goals, what we're going to talk about. There's no bonding over pop culture or some show that we're watching. Like when you're with your girls, we're talking about all of these things, and it's fun. And when it comes to men, sometimes it's not particularly fun. Like we don't get to have a friendship because they don't value our friendship. A date is really just the interlude to smecks. And so that's
a means to an end.
Yes, that's one of the main reasons why they have to pay, because otherwise they're not particularly likable, and we could take ourselves out on a date because most of us work. So that's the reason why, it's like if you want to hang out with me, you're going to have to, show some effort. Otherwise, I'm not going.
Yep. Go ahead, Yamaya. You got a question.
So I have a question for you, actually, and the panel. Another thing that I find men saying oftentimes, or they get rather touchy about it, is when women say, "Hey, we don't need you." And I remember in a variety of circumstances, women trying to explain what we mean when we say we don't need you. We would like to want you, but we don't need you. And no matter how no matter how extensively the women tried to tell them the benefits of being
not being
wanted
needed
versus being needed,
Mm-hmm.
they did not get it.
They do get
I
it.
I think that there is a connection between this unwillingness to become likable, to do the inner work, and to be a good companion, and this obsession with wanting to be needed, i.e., wanting the reliance on some level.
So what's the question?
Am I making any sense?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yes.
But what's the question?
My question is, do you see that connection? And the only reason why I bring it up is because the need versus want question with men is one that I've seen explored many times on this app. So I'm interested to hear what you think about that and what other people think.
Yeah. So men understand that it would be the reason why men say that they would rather be needed than be wanted is because they want the control, right? So if you need the man, then they can control you, but they can't say that, right? They can't say that out loud. So they play dumb about it. And when you have the conversation, they do this whole like, wouldn't you rather be wanted than needed? And then they, oh, no, I don't care about that. But they can never actually articulate why they would rather be needed than be wanted, right? So and that's the telltale sign. And most men have to speak in riddles. And you know what I mean? That's why a lot of men just lack the ability to communicate most of the time, but verbally at least. But so
You need to speak in riddles. Can you say a little bit more about that?
yeah, so because we can't actually say what we think and feel. We have to, like, men are taught to mask all the time, especially with women, but we're taught to mask all the time. We can never tell women what we're really thinking. To Burb's point, bringing up going on a date. Of course, we can't tell a woman, hey, I just want to have sex with you. So I'm willing to pay for this date as long as you are willing to give me vagina at the end of it. Right. But we know that because we know if we had access to 100 women, which most men don't, but if a man actually had access to 100 women and you told 100 women that, maybe one, and I'm just being maybe just to leave the door open, maybe one would say, okay, I'll be your huckleberry, right? I don't care how fine you are. I don't care. The vast majority of women are going to say no to that, right? I have no interest in being in a relationship with you. I have no, you know what I mean? Like I have no interest in, anything beyond sex with you. All I want to do is take you out and sleep with you right afterwards. And that's it. And you got to sleep with me tonight because I don't want to take you out on a bunch of dates, right? It has to be one date, one and done. I just need it to be tonight as fast as possible, right? And that to me is the biggest caveat because of course there's also women that just want to lay with dudes too, and they don't want to be in a relationship either. I'm not denying that, but most of the time women aren't, very interested in like one date and done. They might just want to sleep with him too, but it's, usually it's not like first date, I'm done. Right. But men know that we just know that we cannot say the things that we really feel out loud, because if we do, women, to Burb's point again, we're already not likable. And that's with us masking. That's with us being our best selves in our minds, putting our best foot forwards in our minds, right? So imagine if we drop the mask. Imagine it. Imagine how terrifying it would actually be for most women, and how men would, the little bit of access that men have to women, they would all but lose it. You know what I mean? Like, so whatever these numbers are, they would quadruple overnight. And that is the reason why men aren't interested in saying the thing out loud. And that is the reason why men would rather be needed than wanted, because they want that control. They want you to lean on them, especially financially. That's why I did a whole live on it the other day about how men are not actually providers, right? And when I say that, I'm saying, A, we're not. Mathematically, we're not, right? Like statistically, we're not. But B, we're not providers. Even mentally, we're not providers. Socially, we're not even socially engineered to be providers, right? We're not like, hey, I need to take care of my family. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not what our goal is. Our goal is make money so you can have access to women. That's different than being a provider. You see what I'm saying? Like being a provider is a completely different a completely different thing.
I agree. So here's my last question. And I'm asking these questions to you and others, really not because
I gotta drop and come back up. I can't hear the panel at
all.
I can hear you, but I can't hear them.
Okay, Yellow.
All right. The same with me. Can I come back?
Okay, Gerbil. Go ahead.
Yeah, so thank you. So I just want to make it clear, asking these questions because I genuinely just am interested in what your thoughts are. So, oh shit, it just left my mind. Okay, I'm gonna go on mute.
Okay, you're good. What up, Vanity?
Oi.
Oh, sorry, I know.
Okay, go ahead. You mind?
So here's my question. And this is, and I have some ideas on this, but I want to hear what you and others think. So when you were talking about being a provider and a lot of other stuff, I'm always curious as to, and this is, and I assume it's not just in our community because I'm Black, you're Black, and I think this is with a lot of men. I'm always astounded in the fictions that they tell themselves about how women are, how they are, how they're the providers, how they are the protectors. But when you ask them to be specific about instances in which they've experienced certain things, they can't do it. Like you and I both witnessed that today. And so here's my question. Why, how I don't understand how they're able to keep these fictions and these ahistoricisms in their brain. Because women, we talk to our mothers, we talk to our grandmothers, and they told us the truth about what it was like. You know, women, we observe what's going on. And I have to say, Jace, it was brilliant hearing you talk, because I'm gonna say this. I'm an older millennial, but I do see a lot of younger men, you know, from my generation and younger, being a little bit more literate when it comes to being honest about how a lot of men are kind of delusional about what's real with regards to, you know, being protectors and being breadwinners. But so to put it concisely, my question is, how and why do you think men maintain these fictions even when you interrogate them like you did today? And it's like they can't answer, but it doesn't change the fiction in their brain. That's always
that's the cognitive dissonance. So, you know, they're also conditioned. So there's a few things. There's like I talk about the cult of man, right? So there's a men are in a cult, whether you didn't sign up for it, most men didn't sign up for it, but men are in a cult. Other men will rationalize and support all the bullshit that you know, like whatever lie is told, whatever lie they need to perpetuate, like the thing when Jack on Coke got up here and said that women they waiting on a man to lead them, right? When he said that, right? And I was like, where'd you hear that from? He couldn't say a woman. He heard it from other men. And if there was a man up here that aligned with that ideology, with a man that was in the cult, they would have said, yep. The same way earlier when they were talking about the men who, how women use men's vulnerabilities against them. And they both, you heard them when they both lit up. I don't know what you talking about, public offender. You must just meet the perfect women on the planet. I was like, no, that's not it. Y'all just be fucking lying, right? Like, so they will co-sign for each other in real time. So if they were ever, you just can't corner a person like that, because I don't know if you guys ever seen the movie Focus with Will Smith. They're gonna die with the lie. That's what the code teaches you. The code says you die with the lie at all costs. You gotta die with the lie. So they will never, ever, ever admit that is like that's not the thing, right? Like, oh no, yeah, women gonna use your vulnerabilities against you, so don't tell them nothing. I would rather talk to a tree than a woman. Whatever fucking bullshit they say this week, right? Like, it's just a rinse and repeat of that over and over and over again, and that is what allows men to stay ignorant. That's the thing that holds men down. When you got to Jace's point, you got a 50-year-old man saying that shit to 20-year-old men What do you think is gonna happen when your daddy done told you that, your uncle done told you that, you know what I'm saying? The TV done told you that, every rap lyric done told you that, every rock song done told, like the same thing over and over and over again. It's easy to find that comfort. It's easy to, that's why I call a lot of these dudes rest haven for hoe ass niggas. Cause they feel comfortable in that, you know what I'm saying? They find solace in weak-minded men like that think like them, that don't have any interest in growing. They love that shit. Right. And trust me, as a man, if I have been coddled many a times, even when I didn't ask to be coddled, even when I would go to my friends and have like a legit to be like, am I tripping? You know what I'm saying? Y'all know if y'all had those conversations with your friends, it starts off like that. Tell me if I'm tripping. And then you start talking about what happened and da-da-da-da-da. Then they just start gassing you up. Like, I mean, you are the breadwinner, bro. Like, I don't know how you did that. I mean, shit, you deserve a cookie for providing for your family, man. She don't want to make no sandwich for you at 12 o'clock at night. Hey, man, I don't know how you do it. Like, it'd be a lot of that going on. I done caught myself in them conversations even before I was doing any other work. I've caught myself in those conversations being like, but nah, she didn't, that wasn't what was like, like I even had to stand up I ended up having to stand up for my wife or my girlfriend to be like, nah, she wasn't doing that, fam. Like, she was just saying da-da-da-da-da. And then I realized, like, oh, you can't have these conversations with your friends. Like, these niggas will lie to you. Like, they will have you really believing like the woman is wrong, and they come to find out I was wrong. Like, you know what I mean? All these years later, fast forward, I was wrong 89, 99% of the time. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Jace.
So, Public, are you saying something that I did not know? So what you're saying is the only time when a lot of men have some
pushback,
some intimacy and some support is when they are engaging in the cult of man with lies.
Yes. And also, and lastly, when you do that, right? When you get around your boys, I'll point this out for anybody that's new here. There's a funny ass skit from Key and Peele where when they all gather together as men and they start calling their wives the B word, right? And it was like, oh, did you say it? And then I said, you wash the dishes, bitch. And then Peele like, but you said it though. You said like, yeah, I said, and they like you get exalted in the cult. You get a stripe for being like that. So if you go in the cult and you start lying and you start being like, man, I ain't, hey, in my household, man, I don't watch no, in my household, man, she bend over and take it when in my household, man, she do, when you start doing that shit, they be, oh, you go, but like, that's what, so you get, you become a 5-star general in the cult. I was a 5-star general. That's what I'm saying. Like, I was a high-ranking official in the cult. Them niggas couldn't tell me nothing. But then when you get to the point to where you like, this shit not working though. Like, you got to make a choice at some point. It's either you gonna unalive with your homies that ain't gonna be there for you, or you gonna be with your woman. And y'all go look it up. Go, if you ain't, I'm pretty sure we all seen it, but those of you who haven't seen it, go listen to that interview with Judge Mathis talking about his wife and how he trying to win his wife back and shit like that. Now he want to win her back, right? Like, but whatever. But go listen to that. Listen to what he said. It's only like a 3-minute clip, but he tell you he give you all the game right there. He said it wasn't no cheating, it wasn't no beating, it was just me neglecting my wife. That's all it took. And y'all be out here playing all day long, acting like women not gonna leave you. I don't cheat, I don't beat, I got a job, I'm good to go. That woman, she gonna leave you because neglect is also abuse. So she probably gonna end up leaving you. And Judge Mathis is telling, and I actually give him a round of applause for being honest about that. I do. I gotta give him his props for that. But yeah, hopefully that answered your question. Go ahead, Jason. I need Vanity to go. She's been waiting a while. Go ahead, Jason.
I got you. Not to cut nobody off, but I got two things. First thing, I saw somebody in the comments ask about a book. Any book recommendations? If I could give one, I would say Battle Cry by Mr. Jason Wilson. You can look him up on Instagram.
I know Jason Wilson. Black dude, bald head, karate.
Yeah, black dude, white beard. So he's like, Jack on Coke's age, about a little older, and he coaches young men. Yep. And his main thing is that he doesn't pander to women like some of these other kind of performative guys. He speaks to men. Yeah. And he's like, he infiltrates the cult of man and brings young boys away from that so they don't go down that path. Yep. So I would recommend that book, Battle Cry. Now, number two, people are not gonna like that I got to say this, but when you
personally, I think men are very lazy.
Yeah.
And I to answer Missy Maya's question, about why men do things they do, because they're lazy. It's like it takes a lot of work because I've been in therapy since at least January, right? So something about therapy is that it's not like medication at the hospital where you prescribe something. Oh, you take this for X amount of days. You take these antibiotics until it runs out, and then you'll be all better. No, you have to put in the work.
Yep.
And men don't like to work. Right?
Nope. Not for this. Not for this type of stuff. Not for this type of stuff. Yeah.
Physically work,
Mm-hmm.
they won't do the emotional work because that is very, very hard to sit with yourself and say, you know what? I think I might be the problem. I cannot tell you how much therapeutic work from January to now. So what is it, like month 9 now?
Mm-hmm.
So I've been in therapy for the last 9 months, and I'm like, wow. I look back at certain situations, and I'm like, wow, dude. And I just cringe. And it's a good thing that I do that because if you look back and cringe, that means you change. So that's a good thing. So, I try and pass on that knowledge to other young men, when I'm at my shop, of course, type of work I do.
Yeah.
But it's laziness. It's and to public. You were talking about my friends. I used to sit down with my friends, and they used to hype me up and gas me up. I was 5-star general. I said, truth be told, those weren't your friends. Those weren't your friends because true friendship is like because men don't know about true friendship. Friendships are not about yes men. They're the ones who tell you no, dog, you tripping, bro. No, that ain't right.
Yeah.
Whatever
That's me. I'm that friend, and I've always been that friend. That's why my friends don't talk to me until they want to hear the truth. Like they'll talk to 10 motherfuckers before they talk to me, and then they'll be like, literally, I'm not even playing with y'all. They'll be like, man, I didn't talk to 4 people, but I just need you to tell it to me straight. And I'm like, okay. Then and they come to me, and I've been like this my whole, like, no bullshit. I've been like this my whole life. Like that's people know me like as that. I'm that person. I don't give a fuck. But go ahead, yeah.
I'm passing off to Vanity. I was just trying to answer Miss Maya's question because it was a pretty good question. So I wanted to answer what I think the problem is.
Facts.
Men are lazy emotionally because the patriarchy tells them, well, you're a man, so you're entitled to X, Y, Z. And so now also it's like having to keep up with the same lie all day. It's like you have to keep on, keep up a lie and it's not true. Like,
yep.
When the men were talking about, women use this against us and blah, blah, blah. I said, no. What I was saying, no, is that therapeutic work. Yes, you are scared of me leaving you. Because literally, I'm in the gym as well. Go look at my profile. You see my weight loss transformation. I be working out. I be seeing the memes of men. They trying to be funny. They're like, the weights won't wake up one day and tell me they don't love me no more. I said, dude, that's because your daddy walked out to get Walmart is a mile up the road. You ain't seen them say. That's why.
The phone work both ways, head ass niggas. Go ahead, Vanity.
I don't have patience.
I know, Vanity. I'm sorry.
Am I working on it? No. I'm not. So the thing I wanted to say, where men are lonely by choice.
Mm-hmm.
No, they're not. There is no such thing as a lonely man epidemic. I agree. I believe they're calling it an epidemic because there is a veiled conversation going on when you listen to people talk about the lonely man epidemic.
Mm-hmm.
With the exception of a minute few, the subtext is, so women, what are we going to do to fix this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what it is when we're talking about the lonely man epidemic, because like an epidemic, infection, disease, whatever the case may be, that's spreading out of control. But then we're treating this as though this is a bug and not a feature. Right?
Mm-hmm.
This behavior that men have is not, some kind of foible. It is like literally built into the system, it's built into the machine. It is actually the brain of the operation.
Mm-hmm.
So to call it a bug or an epidemic or illness or sickness that somehow women are supposed to be able to fix. What they're trying to do is they're trying to tap into a maternal instinct to want to go and, heal somebody or help somebody out or, pull some man out of the mire with a vagina. But that is not how any of that is going to happen because unfortunately for the world. One day I'll get into my little conspiracy theory about how all this technology and everything like that was, a long epigenetic goddess machine to flip the whole patriarchy on his head. But that's another story for another day. But men definitely do have more cats than women, and I strongly suggest that more men get cats because that way you are guaranteed to have access to pussy.
Facts.
That is the only other way that's what's going to happen. The people who are talking about this epidemic and everything, honestly, I think a lot of people are noticing that when you bring this to women and you lay it at their feet, we're not picking it up and cradling anymore, but we're tap dancing on it. So, I hope a lot of you men are listening to Public.
They're not.
I hope you all are taking notes. Women, learn how to make that special oatmeal because once it gets really, really dire, they're going to come out swinging. And, you need to make sure that they're going to be weakened and, breathless.
Go ahead, Gerbil. Gerbil, are you there? Let me let the new people go real quick and then we get open up the panel again. She been waiting. Are you there? You got to unmute. Hold on. Let me send you an invite. Let's see. There you go. Oh, I muted you back. I'll try to send you an invite. My fault. There you go.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
All right. So men are lonely by choice. There is no such thing as a lonely man epidemic. Yes, I believe men are lonely by choice because there are a lot of women out here that are very, very beautiful, but instead of doing right by these women and not trying to overthrow the woman's power, they rather stay with their dusty friends instead of staying with the women that love them. So they created it by themselves. They created this epidemic.
100%.
It don't have to be this way. Now, because of their toxic behavior, women no longer want to deal with that. Like, oh boy, that was talking. I don't know if he's still here.
Jace?
When he was Jace Coke or something.
Oh, Jack on Coke. Yeah.
Yeah, when he was saying that basically most Black women were fat and stuff like that. I'm like, y'all really think that those kind of things is going to bring a woman to you and then you attack your own race? Like, most Black women are not even fat. I'm not fat. I'm small. I'm petite. I don't hardly see any big Black women, and they do exist, but they're not like, it's not like, oh my God, there's another fat one. It's just, I think that he just do too much. And they're the way that they think is very toxic, especially to the girls that are big and they can't help it, and to the single mothers that did what they have to do to take care of their children. All of this is very, very toxic.
Fact.
And our kids should not have to go through this.
Bet.
But that's all I have to say.
Okay. Thank you. Go ahead, Jassy.
What up, y'all? Hey, Public.
Hey.
Hey, Birdie. Hey, Vanity. Hey, see y'all. Okay. Anywho, so this is an interesting story, and I had to hop on because something happened at work today, Public, that really lit this topic up. Okay. So, I have staff that come to me for my counsel at work, and I have this one young lady. She only works 3 days. Okay, she works Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. So the only 3 days she worked, and the only 3 days she's been working since May. And May is when she got hired on. And so she was explaining to me, because we were having I had to have a meeting and sit down with her about some things that had happened in regards to her schedule, because she got a brand new baby. She got an infant. Her infant is like 6 months old. And she nurses her infant, right? She breastfeeds. And so she was telling me that, you know, certain things, and it's hospitality. So, you know, we can cut people and get people up out of there. They ain't got to be there for 8 hours and stuff like that. We got a flex room. So I was asking her some questions to get her input for the next upcoming season schedule and what all she needed in regards to that. So she was stressed out today, and I could tell that she was stressed out. I pulled her to the side. I said, "Are you all right?" She tells me that her man, she's about 23. He is 26 years old. She specifically says that her man, she think her man been listening to this red pill stuff. Now, she don't know what I do on social media. None of them do. She says she think her man been listening to this red pill stuff that tells her that, you know, he a king and he a guy, this black couple. And she says, so one, she was like, he had her so frazzled and mad. He sent her a text message because she had sent him a text message. And she said, "Let me know when the baby milk get low so that I can head home, right? So that I can go to my manager and ask to get cut." And she said that he says to her, "Well, why did you go to work if the baby didn't have enough milk?" She said, "I don't know if the baby had enough milk or not." I was saying that if it gets down to one bottle, because it is Labor Day and a holiday, and I'm stuck or something, I need to know ahead of time so that I can just go ahead and start trying to get up out of here, right? And so then she said, he texted her, "Well, I think you put your work above the family." This girl worked 3 days. This girl works 3 days. This girl has always worked 3 days. She's scheduled 6:30 to 3, but leaves at about 1:30 so that she can get back home to that baby. And she says, and I tell him, she said, "I tell him, Miss J, I do everything for everybody else, and I put myself last." And mind you, he done been saddling with her with kids for a long time. They got 3 kids. The third
Damn.
is last baby. Yes.
She 23?
Kids.
Damn.
Three kids. They've had 4 in total. 1 passed away.
Damn.
She was never able to properly grieve the one they lost because at her old job, they gave them 2 weeks to grieve the baby. Both of them work in hospitality. He don't work there. He works somewhere else. To grieve the baby. So she's still kind of reeling from that. So her new baby is like her rainbow baby. And I was like, okay. And then she was like, and we were having a talk. And she said, so when she said something to him to explain it, he says to her that she's not being submissive or respecting him as the man by telling him that she's trying to, that the baby, she only asked him that to make sure she got home for the baby to have enough milk. And she was like, I said, first of all, he doesn't have no business asking for submission, whatever. So then she got to the point where she was just like, and then he was talking to her cousin. I guess he went to his cousin for like advice or whatever. And basically
Coddling.
the cousin went to him, went to her, cussing her out. And mind you, she on public assistance, so the young man stayed with her. She says she don't know if she should put him out. I said, listen, they gonna coddle him into homelessness. They gonna coddle him into homelessness. They gonna coddle him into this lonely man epidemic. Yes. That's how that's gonna go. And she was like, she felt bad because she's like, she wanna go stay with her mama for a week. I said, don't you leave your house and leave him in that house and stay with your mama for a week. I said, because he gonna bring women in now. You gonna come back there and you gonna been and brought women in your house, right? No, they are not married. He said that he's not ready to marry her because she got stuff to work on. And
is his name Big Sean? It sounds like Big Sean's story. Okay.
So I said, okay, I get y'all young. I said, okay, I get y'all young. Y'all don't want to get married, all that. Okay. Once I'm having kids, right? But 2, I said, first of all, with the cousin, you can tell her while she's playing on your phone, she got more important things to do, like pulling a U-Haul up to your house and moving his ass up under there. That's y'all don't report pressing matters because that's the way that if she want to be in your relationship and fix your relationship problems, she need to come get in, right? She need to come get in. Okay. I said, as far as him, he's talking too spicy to be dependent on you. And I said, and that's probably why he talking spicy, because he knows he's dependent on you.
Mm.
Okay? And every time that you wake up, because mind you, I said, your frontal lobe is getting ready to start to develop. You're going to start thinking stuff, and that's when it's really going to be a wrap. And I said, and all of this, him being mean and nasty and saying all of this crazy stuff to her is what is going to lead her to wanting to leave this relationship alone and going about her day.
Mhm.
She was like, I can deal with the, and then she hit me with this too. She said, and as far as him saying that her working 3 days is putting her job before her family, she said, we're poor. I don't know why he has a problem with me working 3 days. Hospitality, serving and bartending is the only way she can really make a full-time income in 3 days. And she does. And that is exactly what she does. I said, I think that public, he might be out earning her in her 3 shifts every week. I think she might be out earning him.
I was gonna say, okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I think might be it too. Because she makes really good money there. Because I do everybody's like putting their tips, inputting, and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
So I was like, I think that might be it as well. But I said all that to say that these instances are how these men end up lonely, and this lonely man epidemic comes across. So can they control it? Can they control it? Yes. Yes, for the men who are in relationships, the ones who just keep getting rejected, yeah, they could probably help their situation as well. But for some reason, they have this sense of entitlement. They have this sense of mess listening. Because I believe her when she said that she think he's listening to this stuff on the internet because she done caught him listening to these different podcasts and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, and here's about to be another family that is not going to go to the distance of marriage or anything like that, because this young lady is going to get fed up with him by the time she's 25, 26, guaranteed.
Yep. And
Guaranteed.
That's
She's going to break and she's going to put him out.
that's a normal, that story is normal. Yeah. And not marrying a person and having 4 babies with him is, I will never understand that shit.
Oh, she said that he said this too. This is what really hurt her. This is why she's frazzled. She said, asked him, why are you with me? And he said, because we have kids together.
He said the quiet part out loud. Oh wow.
Because we have kids together, and she said, and that's when she got upset. And then she was like, he asked, what was the problem? Well, why are you with me? And she was like,
love.
Because I love you, because I care about you, because you are the father of my kids, because you do this and that and this and that, and list of all these reasons. And I was just like, this relationship is not gonna make it. He with
her because he's homeless. So that's really why. And they got kids, but he keep impregnating her so he can have somewhere to stay. Like, if that makes sense. So it kind of all works together. Damn. Hold on, wait. I want to make sure. I think Bird was trying to say something earlier. I want to make sure she get back in here. And
yeah, because I do need to get off of here and go do mom stuff.
Yes, ma'am.
To the point of Jace saying that men are lazy, and to the point that patriarchy has most of these men living in Delulu land. That's the magical place that they live. They live in Delulu land, and in times past, when men owned all of the media, they were able to put out all of the PR. They created, they let us know history. Everything, the legislator was ruled by men. The clergy is ruled by men. Everything started at men because in reality world, all they are really needed for is procreation, like their sperm.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't even need a whole lot of that sperm to be able to make the babies to continue the population or whatever. But men had to create a role for them. So that's where they created the protectors and the providers. But the way they did it was they were like, you know what? We're going to just devalue women to the point where we just make them so oppressed. We devalue them. We keep their self-esteem way, way low. We act like once they hit 30, they're worthless. We act like once they have these babies that we tell them that we want, they're worthless. We're going to tell them all of these things that tell them that they're worthless. And then we're going to be higher than them. But this is the kicker. They get all of this at a very low rate. They get this at the rate of a ring and a wedding, and then all of a sudden they have a cook, they have a nanny, they have an administrative assistant, they have someone to cook and clean, they have a SMEX worker. They have all of this for a very reasonable price. What could go wrong? And so then, because of this, what we're seeing right now is now that women can work on our own and have our own money, we're seeing, oh, this is a bad deal for us. They get all of this for a very low price, but they're not doing half of the work. We are the resources. And as more women wake up to the fact that we are the very resources, we are the everything. When we pull that back and make them hold their own nuts, the world will crumble if they don't pick up some of this work for themselves. And so, and I just wanted to say that before I get off of here, ladies, I want you to remind yourself that you are the resource and make them hold their own nuts. Because once they hold their own nuts, that is going to make all of this become a little bit more equal. So pull back, let them continue to fail and flail. Once they hit rock bottom, some of them are going to rise up to the occasion and some of them are not, but let them expire over there and not on your couch, eating up your soup, using up your good Wi-Fi and your air conditioner. And that's all I wanted to say before I
All right, Bird. Appreciate you.
That baby bank that we're all putting out there, that we not everybody needs to be donating their specimens.
Yes.
We've had a couple of millennia too many where just anybody was able to get a baby. It's like Oprah with you get a baby, and there's a lot of people who should there's a lot of bloodlines that should have been discontinued.
Yeah, we talked about that yesterday. What's her name? Rosa. I'm sorry, I'm sleepy. What's her name? The lady that used to take getting everybody out of slavery. The Rosa. I keep saying Rosa Parks. Harriet Tubman. I'm tired as fuck. Harriet Tubman should have left some of you niggas ancestors behind. That's the consensus that I've gotten from most people. That's like, yeah, we need to leave some of y'all behind. Let me read some of these super chats real quick. Cosmic Daughter says, it appears that being a man is a 24/7 performance. Perform for the job, male validation to get smacks, and to appear normal with this toxic mindset. Exhausting. It is. Very exhausting. Spot on. Megan said, the men are lonely by choice because they can't get their 10 out of 10 baddie submissive bang man. They are throwing in the towel. Damn. That's also facts. Banji Babies, nice to see you. She said, man, this epidemic, quote unquote, is just unbearable. People discovering that they are indeed unbearable. Just seeing men talk about it amongst themselves is like the Spider-Man meme when they're all pointing at each other. Rosie Palm said, what is men's interest in encouraging men to be terrible partners? What's the goal? The goal is to make them to, if you point out the fact that every other man is trash, then why do you need to grow? Just settle for me. Same thing. If you point out if you can make women and gaslight women into believing that women are just as bad as men, then yeah, just say right here, girl, shut up. We both terrible. Be quiet. I don't need to grow. You don't need to grow. Right? That's the thing. What they saying? They said, don't leave by Blackstreet. He said, you got your problems, baby. I got mine. Let's just end it all by putting it together. Nigga, where does that work? Tell me how that math. If we both got problems and we both just put them together, how is it going to work out? It don't make no fucking sense. But that's what men will have you believe. That's what they trying to convince you of. It's like, you got problems, I got problems. Why try to change me? You ain't, you know what I'm saying? You just be, hey, how about we both just be in this relationship and both be shitty and toxic to each other? But the women ain't never nearly as toxic as the men. That's the other problem. That's the other caveat. Is that and women are more apt to outgrow toxicity. Yes, right? Yes.
There is a stage in women's life, right, where I think that most women go through this sort of shift where women are trying to figure out self-discovery, right?
Mhm.
Like when I started on social media as a content creator, that's kind of like the vein in which I started in, right? Consciousness, spirituality, you know,
Mhm.
talks about God and things like that. And we were talking about, these are conversations we were holding in 2018. We were talking
Mhm.
about childhood trauma. We were talking about relationship trauma. We were talking about self-esteem. We were talking about all of these different things and really evaluating our place in the world with our family, with ourselves, with our relationships, with our friends. And what is it that we could do to become healthier people? How could we, you know, cope with the everyday things that happen, the everyday stressors in better ways? And how could we show up in society as our full selves, right?
Mhm.
Women are more apt to do that. Women aren't just gonna stay in a pile of shit and keep spraying perfume on it and to make it bearable to smell, right? And it's like a lot of men will sit up there and see a pile of shit right in the middle of their living room, and they'll just keep walking around the shit, keep living with the shit, sit there in the living room, play video games with the shit right there, and not
Mhm.
say nothing about it. And then when you come point out the shit, they're like, "Oh, well, you need to come clean this shit up because ain't that what you supposed to do? You're
Mhm.
the maid as a woman. You need to come in here and you need to clean this pile of shit up out my living room." Right? And
Mhm.
women are like, prior, you know, a few years back, women would be like, "All right, I'm gonna clean up the shit and make this house a home." But now women are like, "No, fuck out of here. That's your shit. You need to do something about that shit." Matter of fact, I'm disgusted by the fact that you could continuously roommate with this pile of shit in the middle of your living room.
Facts.
Okay, then y'all had a bunch of men up in here. It wasn't just you walking around the shit. It was you and 3 other niggas walking around this shit.
Disgusting.
And nobody said it stank.
Yep.
So,
Waiting for the woman to come home and clean it up. That's what.
the woman to come clean it up. That's what their
Mhm.
life is. Their lives are waiting for women to come clean up the pile of shit out of their living room. While they act like, even the women who did clean up the pile of shit, they act like those women did nothing. You're not even going to give credit to the person who got the shit up out the living room and got the stank up out of there.
Mhm.
While cleaning up her own shit, then came to clean up yours too. Absolutely not. These men are lonely. They're going to stay lonely for a long time. And as I shared with the story earlier today, it is not a unique story. This is a story that happened with numerous women. And another guy I seen in the comments saying, "Well, it sounds like she chooses bad men." This is a young lady that got with this young man when she was 17 years old. Okay? She did not know no better. I don't know why y'all expect women to come out the gates and know all of this stuff and have all of this knowledge and have all of this wisdom to be able to ascertain what this is and what that is. This is her first relationship. That's a good faith relationship. She was listening to him, believing in him that he would grow. He was a young man at the same time as her. He's only 3 years older than her, right? So
Mhm.
she went into this relationship with good faith, thinking that he would grow into this person. So the problem with their relationship, because she understands their age demographic, the problem isn't that he's broke. The problem isn't that, you know, they're trying to figure their way out with their kids. The problem is he's mean. The problem is he's mean. The problem is the way that he talks to her. The problem is his lack of emotional intelligence towards her.
Mhm.
And the problem is his lack of respect and devaluing and dehumanizing of her. Him being broke, that's part of life when you're growing in your early 20s. We all was broke.
Yeah. Everybody gonna be broke. Yeah.
Just hop out of here fucking rich. But
Mhm.
she was willing to build with him. She was willing to grow with him. She was willing to stick with him. That's what she was willing to do. She was willing to see it through with the hopes that one day, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, they get married. That is her only sin here. That's her only sin here. The problem is he's the pile of shit.
Yep.
He's the pile of shit. And this is going to be, unfortunately, more than likely, another broken home. Because he can't get his attitude together. Period.
Too many of those homes.
We also have to remember that in our community, womanhood starts at about 12 and manhood starts at about 35. So they're always going to shift the blame onto her because at any point in time, you could say somebody at the age of 23 who's already had 4 pregnancies and now has 3 babies and start asking her about why did she choose. Everybody knows that she didn't know better. Everybody knows that was the mind of a child. Everybody knows that whoever was having them babies with her was definitely older, supposedly. but they're never going to blame him for being a trash ass individual who's taken in red pilling ideology. They can be like, why would she choose? She should have known better at the ripe old age of, because, you know, once again, adulthood for women starts at 12.
Yeah, that seems like the what men got in a they gonna say what it don't matter. They gonna say, and then they gonna coddle men, and they gonna say the man is not a man yet, he a boy and all that. It's weird. It's exactly what you described. That's fucking crazy. But hey, I appreciate y'all coming up. I'm about to go. I gotta go eat, and I'm sleepy as hell. I'm falling asleep. I did an 8-hour live yesterday. I'm burnt. I'm not gonna even hold y'all, but y'all know what it is, man. Y'all know it's all love. I appreciate y'all coming up. Thanks for coming up, Jazzy and Vanity. I appreciate y'all. Shout out to everybody in the what's it called? The thingy. See, my brain ain't firing off like it need to.
YouTube, Cash App, all the things.
All the things, whatever. That ain't what I was talking about, but I'm gonna get to those things too. But you're right. What's the other app? Discord. Shout out to everybody on Discord. I checked it out right now. Yeah, I'm tired. I appreciate y'all. Thanks for coming up. YouTube. What can I say? It's been real. We did it, Joe. And we hit 200,000. I love it. I love it. It only took us 3 hours to hit 200,000, man. You know, collectively, we had about 1,000 people in this live for the last 3 hours or so. So I love it. Almost 500 people over here on the YouTubes. We had 600 some odd people over there on the Tiki Tac. So appreciate everybody that hit the super chat. Nia X. Men lie to their friends. The end. I will never forget that one. That shit was funny. Osa. Intently Purposeful. Tawana. Nita Beta. Erica. Tan. Lola Ray. Rosie Palm. Luluella. Cosmic Daughter. Megan. Bonji Baby. And Yasmin. I appreciate y'all. Shout out to everybody. I'll let you rest tonight. Still getting jumped this week, so prepare yourself. Oh man, and I still got to do other stuff too tonight. That's the fucked up part. Yes, I appreciate y'all. I know you can tell my voice is gone. Every day it's a fight to gain my voice. Just trying to have my voice in this world as a man. You know, men don't have a voice. But are you not entertained? That was a great live. I appreciate everybody coming up. It was an all-star panel for sure. Everybody that came up, I loved it. Even the I can't even call them haters. They weren't even haters, but you know, we had the ops. You know what I'm saying? GV in the house tonight. GV in the house tonight. He said based on attraction. Yes. I can't give y'all another hour. I ain't got it in me. That's what my wife be telling me to do. Give her another hour. I ain't. Y'all tripping. Y'all tripping. I'll sound just like her. The op holes. Samantha, I appreciate you. Thank you. Oh man. Yes. Y'all can hit the super chat and the Cash App on the way out, man. $1 a do. Support the live. Let's keep the live alive. Thanks to all the new subscribers, all the old subscribers. Best mods in the business. The chats was chatting. All the good stuff, man. Y'all know what it is. Woo! Now it's free seated until she free. What did I do? Give your wife that last hour? Nah. I'm about to get these babies my last little bit of energy I got. We about to put them to bed. They about to go to school tomorrow, you know, so I can get back at it bright and early. Hey, look at that. Appreciate you. Look at that. I was out here looking like Elvis. Appreciate y'all. All right, man. On that note, I'm a bid y'all a fond adieu.